I got a bone to pick with Brian real quick.
Right off the rip? In 1080p?
Yeah, I got some real problems with you, bro. And I gotta
60 FPS?
I gotta put this shit online so that everybody can see it.
Oh, God. Right off the start, too. So you know he means business. Like, this is like, in terms of audience retention, right? He's hitting this right on the head. All right. So go ahead. Take it away.
Yo, I've been had this gripe, so, like, I'm really about to let him have it here.
All right.
All right, pussy, out of 3. Let's go.
All right.
Ready? Oh, my God. Here these motherfuckers go. And now audience retention is gone. Oh, my God. Don't they look like how like gocks? Like. All right, so while they be idiots, I guess I should explain what we're doing here. Currently, the date is June 8th. It's a Thursday. This pod was supposed to come out today, but throughout the pod, you'll understand why we're doing what we're doing. The world's ending. So we are... What the... You guys are freaking me out.
Ready? Sorry, you confused me real quick. I got overwhelmed by your words.
Okay.
I got to focus here, bro.
Everything sounds good there, right? I don't have my headphones on.
Yes, you sound good.
Yeah,
All right, whose turn?
Just go.
Ready?
So they're playing this nut ass.
Damn, that's 2, bro. He been skunking me for some
I know, but I feel
reason.
like Brian, like his fast twitch from fucking Rocket League is just like.
I know, he just be
I
downloading
know,
my
his
movements.
Spidey senses and shit into the GG verse.
Look at bro, it's that simple.
Damn, like he just be acing you now. Like that's crazy.
I don't
though.
get it.
I can't see like.
Speaking of this though, Brian downloaded these movements like a fucking wizard. Maybe you'll get really good at jiu-jitsu with that same idea.
Maybe.
Tough, bro.
I'm hoping. On that point though,
these guys been training.
yeah, we've been training jiu-jitsu finally. So all them pods where we were talking to, I think it was Kyle, Raf Lang. When we were in Dallas, we trained with Ryan, but not jiu-jitsu. That was something different. Yeah, thank you, Darren. But to all those guys out there, to all our past guests and viewers that were mad at me for not partaking in MMA, here we go. We're trying out jiu-jitsu. And honestly, I've been enjoying it a lot. Yeah, granted, I got pretty hurt in my abdominal region the first day, but I feel great now.
IBJJF rules. Kevin versus Brian. Who wins the match?
Now?
On points or sub, yeah. IBJJF.
IBJJF. You know, I mean, I'm the most flexible guy in the room. What can I say? I'm also probably the lightest guy in the room these days. So, nah. What you weigh these days?
Like 170.
See, we're getting close, though.
But then again, you don't want to be the lightest
That's what I mean. It's not good. So that's why I was bringing that. But you got to bring out the pros and the cons.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit, I was actually talking to Anthony about this. I think standing up would be a crazy battle.
Standing up? What, between you and I?
Yeah, if we started standing up, because we just rolled for the first time yesterday. Or no, Tuesday.
You guys rolled?
Not me and him.
Like you guys started in side control,
Yeah,
right?
we started in side control.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
And then what y'all have to do? Like if one advanced the position, you just restart? Or
when he and I... No, that was the... I think you're thinking of the drill that we were doing. Like we were just doing that drill where we would start in side control and then we would...
We did like a half roll, basically, because it was right at when you guys started rolling. He was like, here, how about you guys just start off where you're in side control and just try to like break each other's guard, but like actually try, don't just like let them do it. And then after that
go?
It was good.
It was good. Granted, I mean, obviously, Kevin can only do one side.
Yeah,
like his
because of that.
Yeah.
But then right after that, though, I went to take a little break. I was breathing for a second, but then I didn't want to be no bitch, so I just figured I'd stand up. And then that one purple belt guy was like, "You want to go?" And I'm still like out of breath, so I'm like,
it's funny because like you guys didn't think you'd be rolling soon, right?
Nah,
and then
I had
somebody
no
asks
idea.
you, and then the thing goes, "What happens in your head immediately?"
It's just like, yeah, I gotta try it.
I'm not
like,
no bitch.
Exactly, that's what it is. I can't be a bitch.
Yeah,
he just
especially like. Well, that I mean, in jiu-jitsu, it's crazy because like look means nothing. So like
Nothing.
And that guy that that asked me if I wanted to roll initially, the first thing he asked me when we started rolling, he was like, "Did you graduate from Myers?" 'Cause I was wearing a Myers shirt, and I was like, "Yeah, I graduated in 2020." And he was like, "I was exactly 20 years before you. So if I'm 21, that means he's 41.
Whoa.
He's an older guy, so like I'm thinking like, all right, yeah, let me go roll with him." And he looked like a lot lighter than me too.
He looked like Bruce Wayne. No, he looked like Bruce Banner kind of.
Yeah. He did look familiar for some way. I couldn't tell if it was from the first class or not. But then I rolled with him, and then I asked him what belt he was at the end. Come to find out, motherfucker's a purple belt.
Yep.
And then it's like, what the hell are we doing?
So in retrospect, right? So if you saw that dude at the fucking
State Fair,
Louisiana State Fair, and he fucking shoulder checked you, and you're with your girl and shit. Like, what do you think? Like, you think
that's like that's where you're pressing, but then you find out very fast that like it's probably not for the best of society that you do that. Right?
Saying that though, I still think I might be able to beat him in a short I mean, granted, I don't like. Obviously, as soon as it goes down to the floor, like
I hope he sees this. I hope he fucking. I forget his name.
Let me ask you, because I have no idea if he has any other fighting experience. But like,
Brian's about to be in there today, ducking. He's so happy this shit goes up tomorrow.
No, he said he's been training for about 5 years, and he's like about 41, 42.
Really?
I assume.
Purple belt already?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
He's a dog, but I'd assume that he probably doesn't have any other fighting experience. But that's like a very loose assumption.
Yeah, that's hard to assume though. You think at 5 years in jiu-jitsu, like there's at least a chance you've at least tried a different martial art?
100%.
For sure.
And which one? And honestly, again, maybe it's just like I'm not past like the look stage because like he literally looks like the average white 40-year-old male with a daughter and a wife, white picket fence, and a golden retriever. That's what he looks like.
But like, where does that stem from though? Because like, what's the idea when somebody looks tough? Is it just somebody looks tough, or is it somebody looks cool, or like what is it that like makes us think when we see somebody, oh, I could take that guy, or oh, I can't take this guy? Like the look thing always confused me.
Well, is that something that the majority of men do?
Like judge if they could take somebody based off looks.
Comment right
so.
now. If you're a man, right, is that something that you do naturally? If you're in a public place or if you're in a setting with other men present, do you evaluate other men like who you can beat and who you cannot beat? If so, comment below.
Facts. I'm gonna try and make a clip out of this, so we'll see. But
what's that phenomenon though? Right?
I don't know.
Why does that happen?
Because I mean, ever since a young age, I'm pretty sure we all did it.
Is it an instinctual thing? Is it something that we do naturally, or is it something that is it a learned behavior?
I don't know.
Is it a matter of insecurity and a bit of our ego?
It's definitely ego. It's definitely ego.
It has to do with some of the ego, right?
I think your brain just like you, no matter what. I think it's a human instinct to like want to be the best or want to be the most powerful. Or there's something inside everyone that like wants to be there at the top. And I think subconsciously you might look at other guys and go, if I wanted to be at the top, I'd have to go through them, right? And then maybe that's the thought, but I don't know.
We'd have to get Professor Carl Jung up in this bitch. Start talking about that.
I definitely think it's the ego that starts it. Like the fact that like us as guys, whenever we walk into a room, that's like one of the first things we think about. I think that all has to stem from ego, right?
Well, do women think about this?
Interesting. I don't know. I would wonder.
I'm gonna say no.
I would doubt. I don't think it would just be fighting per se, but like when a woman walks into a room, do you think she wonders if she's the most attractive?
Ooh. Yeah, I would say that. This might be controversial, but I would say that's probably the equivalent to that phenomenon in men in comparison to women. Because men, we immediately go to physicality.
Yeah. But I wouldn't even say it's very controversial because I don't think most women inherently are very aggressive, and I think that's probably a good thing. But like, what would their side of the spectrum be?
Maybe it's just human instinct to like right off the bat you're thinking about survivability. So like men think about it like physically because that's what men have always had to do. Like men have always been the more physical creatures, and women usually beauty has always been like a stem, like how they get. I mean, I'm not gonna say that's the only way, but like back in the day they'd use their beauty to get to places of power.
Okay.
So maybe that's just kind of like a thing that's rooted in our brain. Women look for more like beauty. Who's like, am I prettier than them? Am I the best in this room? And men think, am I the strongest? Am I the best in this room?
So it basically comes back to the same thing as like you just want to be the most powerful person in the room.
See, this is what you think about that makes you think, damn, we're not too far from those damn go-go chimps.
Them go-go chimps, right?
If you really break it down and isolate it, then we're kind of similar.
It's
bro.
literally just
it's fucking
it's
nuts,
but more complex. Did you ever finish it yet? Damn, bro, I wish we could talk about it.
I'm on episode 4 right now.
You guys need to either get sponsored by them or stop talking. Bro, every time
I'm jacking.
Bro, I love it. I'm onto a new show too, bro. Sadly, I got cut again. Like my problem with like shows specifically, and I just started watching a show that has a lot of seasons, so now I'm like super fucked. But like when I get into a show, bro, I go all in. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. Like, I'll be, like, at, like, work, for example, or I'll be at the gym. Be like, yo, I can't wait to watch this show later. Like, that's just, I don't know why it goes through my head. But that's why I always try to shy from watching TV shows. And that was, like, one of those shows where, like, every day, I'd be like, yo, I can't wait to see what's going on with these go-go chums, bro. But the reason I asked that, though, and this isn't much of a spoil at all, but at the very end of the show, that's, like, specifically what they ask. Like, they ask, like, based off everything you've seen in the show, as humans, like what can we take from what happens with those chimps and Ngogo? And how can we like use like what we watched in that show or like just that documentary or whatever? And how can we apply that to like us going forward as humans? Like what can we take from watching that? Because they are our closest ancestors on Earth.
I think it's 98%, right?
I'm not sure, but
it's 98%.
I mean, in terms of all, like, the creatures on Earth, though, they're the closest thing to us. So, like, when you think of, like, what dolphins do to each other, like, dolphins are smart, sure, but, like, they're not, you wouldn't put a dolphin closer to you than, like, a monkey or a chimp or whatnot. They're, like, very similar to us, and especially just, like, the way they act in terms of emotions. I think one of you guys brought up a good point on that NSFW, that a lot of animals do that. Like, a lot of animals have similar traits that they exhibit between like their people or their community or their friends. But I think with the chimps, it's to a different level. And maybe it's just because of the documentary I watched. Like, I didn't watch a documentary on fucking zebras, so I don't really know how they act when they're around each other. But I would imagine, like, what the monkeys do is a lot more sophisticated than what a lot of other animals do. And it's very interesting.
It's very, very interesting, bro. The chimpanzee culture.
The chimp culture. So how about this end of the world, though?
Yeah, so right now what we're doing is the end of the world podcast, right? So what's been going on is the air quality has been horrible.
Yes.
I think this area in the world is one of the worst.
Yeah.
We were at, I think, a peak of 381 on the air quality index, and it was deemed that the air was hazardous.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because of these wildfires in Canada.
Yeah. And I couldn't get, I didn't honestly spend a lot of time looking into it, but from, like, the little bit of information I gathered, I believe these last 3 days have been some of the worst recorded air quality days in history.
Whoa.
So, like,
So
that,
crazy.
yeah, it's crazy to think about.
I have yet to hear any statistics about what happened to people.
Well,
I haven't heard much about that.
I think it's too early to tell. And it's funny you brought that up because that's exactly what I was thinking is like, while luckily it seems like everything's going away, like we should be all right. What is like the long lasting effect of something like that? Like say like maybe over a day, 2 or 3, maybe it, like in the future, it won't be as important as we think it is. But like, God forbid that went on for a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, that'd be a problem, bro.
Like what happens to the generation of people
That'd
that
be a
had to
problem.
go through that?
I don't know, man. I think we'd have to adapt pretty quickly. I think it would be very, very similar to what we saw with COVID if it was long term. But I think we only been going through it for like, what, a day or two now?
It was weird. I guess the two things weren't very comparable, but during that entire like 2-3 day span, I was comparing the...
Nobody was outside. Masks were on.
But the first thing I thought about, bro, like, well, one of the main things I kept going back to is like, yo, it's actually why, like, and this is going to sound really stupid, but it's like really important to be able to breathe and to be able to breathe clearly.
Yeah.
So like in a situation like that, because yesterday was the worst for me. Like yesterday I felt so weird all day. Like my throat felt weird. My head was hurting. And the entire day I was thinking like, what can I do right now to be able to breathe healthier air or like to just be able to get better air within me?
Yeah.
And I couldn't come up with any conclusion.
You know what's a
like,
good idea, I think? And this is just for for everyday life. I think it might be wise to have air purifiers in your crib.
Yeah.
God bless you.
But doesn't air purifiers just take outside air and purify it?
No, I think it takes the air that's inside of your house and whatever room that you're in and purifies it from like impurities and pollutants.
But at
and
what
stuff like
point
that.
do you run out of like good oxygen though? Because if the entire outside world is all fucked up, you need to replace the oxygen in your house with oxygen from outside to be.
Either way, it still purifies it no matter what it is.
It's like a water purifier. So
Yeah,
like,
but like when you say the word purify, like I can obviously understand what the word purify means, but what does it actually do to the air? Like, is it even possible to filter out that kind of air?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't know.
Because like, what exists in those air? Like, what type of particles exist in smoky air?
I don't know.
I think
Like,
Just regular smoke, yeah, but like when
allergens.
when
I think it also purifies like existing
Yeah.
allergens
I mean,
that are in the air.
I even looked it up last night because I wanted to use my AC while I
Yeah.
went to sleep, but I was like kind of iffy on it.
yeah.
So I actually asked the AI like, what is the point of no return to use your AC? And it says like ACs actually even like air conditioners like will filter out like real bad air and like they'll make it okay, but it's kind of like to a point. So if this continues, everyone, if it's above 300, don't use your air conditioning. But if it's below that, you should be valid.
What is interesting though is I wonder to what extent an air purifier is, and I think that was the question you were asking, right? Like
that's like kind of what I was trying to get to.
To what extent can it purify? the air, you know,
especially
or-
like when the entirety of the outside world is all fucked up like that.
Yeah. Well, that was smoke particularly. So
Yeah.
I think it wouldn't have a problem with smoke, but like imagine if you had carbon monoxide filtering
Yeah.
around your house. I wonder if it can purify that type of air or if that's a
I
different
doubt
situation.
it. I doubt it.
I don't know about that.
That's
no,
why-
'cause
Who knows?
isn't that a kind of gas?
It is, but
Yeah.
it exists within the oxygen, right? So I wonder if it's able. I don't know. I'm no fucking air scientist, so maybe
no air science.
maybe if you're watching this and you are, come on the GG Pod and we can talk about oxygen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
optimal oxygen intake. You know what I'm saying?
What is optimal oxygen intake?
Yo, you ever see that one thing, bro? It's I've been doing this shit for real. I saw it on a Huberman video, and
Yeah.
it talks about the double inhale to reduce
Oh, yeah?
immediate anxiety and
What's
stress.
the double inhale?
So it's like we should pull up the video.
Okay.
And I'll find it somewhere.
All right.
Hopefully,
Bing.
put it right here. Bing.
Oh shit! What did I do?
So let that play for a second.
1523.
Doom 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 doom.
How long is this video?
No, it's just it's good right now.
Are you sure?
But I think what it is, it's like this. So it's like an inhale, and then you sneak in another inhale at the end. And then what it does, it like inflates these sacs that are in your lung.
Okay.
To optimally oxygenate your brain.
Oxidize, I think, is the right word.
Maybe, I don't fucking know. Let this motherfucker.
Have you ever tried that during like jujitsu?
Yes, bro. I do that at school all the time. Yes. I mean, I don't know.
But wait,
I think
what did you say it was for though? Like, what's the goal?
To reduce anxiety and stress.
Really?
Yes, and it has, I suppose, an immediate impact on that.
I don't like to jump to like disproving things, or not that I'm trying to disprove that specifically, but I think like at the root of that, the one thing I always tell people like when they're severely stressed out or like having panic attacks or bad cases of anxiety is to very simply just breathe.
Yeah.
So can't those two things be very like easily interchanged?
When we see the video, maybe.
Yeah, I know. I got to watch the video. But that's always like, well, I actually used to do that way back in the day when I would get really mad at stupid shit. Because for all you guys that don't know, I used to have terrible anger issues. Still do. That would be always be the thing that I would do, especially like when I was younger and I'd play video games. I would always say like, if you like are really angry about something and to the point where you want to have like a immediate reaction, like you want to fucking punch something, you want to break something, just do 5 deep inhales and exhales. By the end of that, if you still want to do it, fucking do it. But I doubt you will. Like if like you playing Rocket League, like you miss a goal, you want to fucking punch your controller on the table. Instead of doing that, go.
Sneak that extra inhale in. So.
Yeah, that extra one too. So now you're hitting 10, not 5. And then by the end of that, if you still want to break that controller, like I said, you might as well. But I doubt you will.
When's the last time y'all raged on a video game?
Rage is
define
rage
in a way that you reacted physically.
Oh, like maybe a few days ago.
Yeah. Like you,
maybe a few.
See, I've never been the person. I've literally never broken a controller on purpose. Like I've dropped it and shit before. Sure. I've never been someone to break physical objects because I know like I'm able to be like, really, you're gonna spend another $60 because you're mad. But if I ever do get to that point, which isn't often, and this isn't good, but like I'll just like end up punching my thigh. Like I'll get so I'm like, what the fuck? And
I do
like,
that too.
I'll do it and I'll go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Every single time.
I think like part of that though, I always wondered what that was. But I think like punching yourself like is a very immediate way to tell yourself like I'm an asshole for doing what I just did.
You ever punched yourself in the head before?
No, not really. When I was younger, like when I played football, I'd like hit myself in the head.
That's like that spazzy white boy shit like that. I've only ever seen like my crackhead friends do it, and they just and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I look at you, I'm like,
the last time with me, bro, I remember it vividly, and I honestly don't remember what game I was playing, but I know it was like either December or January of like January of this year or December of last year. It was one of those months, but I remember, and I probably told you guys about it, but I got so tight in my game that I literally like side punched the shit out my table like this, and my knuckle, this knuckle right here. There's like I play like a game on like one of them fold up tables. So they have like them little metal bolts on them, and I punched it, and it literally didn't hit the plastic. It hit like perfectly on the metal part, and I thought I actually broke my knuckle. And for like 2 weeks, like my fucking knuckle hurt so bad. Ever since then, I didn't do it again.
Here's what's interesting though. Do you remember what in the game got you that mad?
No, but it normally like like what I really think it comes from when I play video games. It puts me in like a very weird meditative state sometimes where I'm like so hyper focused on what I'm doing that if something goes wrong, like when reality just fucking shocks me again that just happened, I just don't know how to react and I just fucking get mad.
But you don't get that mad when the GG pod tells you they're not giving you that loan, you know?
No, yeah, I know. Fuck them people.
Like,
what do you do? Do you even like business bank through these cocksuckers anymore? Like, what do you do?
We shouldn't say any names. Because next thing you know, the fucking
we're on the DA.
Yeah, the legal team's gonna be reaching out to us like,
here we go again.
Hey, you guys need a lawyer? I'm for hire.
I know, Brian. You actually should fucking take up
go to
law
law school.
That's just too much.
I can't see Brian going to law school.
But you make so much money though. You make a fucking boatload of bread.
You know, but whatchamacallit?
You think Brian would be one of those like corrupt lawyers?
Maybe. It's actually funny because I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I was telling her that was actually my first. When I was a kid, that was like my first dream job was to be a lawyer. Like when I was very young. Yeah.
Yo, so I was just with Lydia, right? And Lydia and I were going out. We had a little shindig.
Yeah.
And she told me that her and Maddie were just talking about Brian.
Oh.
And Maddie told Lydia that she recognized this this pattern of behavior that Brian demonstrated.
I can't wait to hear this pattern.
At the Woodlands. And she said every time Brian would go to take somebody's order, he would do this.
Really?
Oh. Yeah. And that just had me dying laughing because she said she would even hear it when she couldn't see him.
Oh man!
So she heard his hands rubbing together, and that just gave me like salesman vibes. Like he was just about to take these people's order, like
you know what?
See he can get the biggest tip. Like
No, it actually does make sense. So I would like you know I do this. I do like a clap thing. So sometimes I'll clap like while I'm talking, and I'll start rubbing my hands like, while I'm talking. But usually it's because like I'm in the middle of conversation. I'm a very handsy person. I use my hands a lot.
No lotion. Them shits just dry mangling together.
Just rub them shits in the mic real quick. Let's see maybe what she was talking about.
Like SMR?
Nah, that's
ASMR?
Crazy,
That's crazy. Go away, Brian. What mic are you? 3? I should put it all the way up to ASMR. The ASMR volume.
Is that a setting?
Huh?
Is there
Not on here, but I can fucking jack his volume up though, and then they'd be able to hear it a whole lot better. That's a weird practice, isn't it?
ASMR. Yeah. Why is that so appealing to people?
My brother liked that shit for a little while.
ASMR?
I'd probably just put him on blast.
I mean, what is that? Like, are you talking like from a sexual standpoint? Or?
No. Like, I mean, some people do for that, but
like some people like eating ASMR.
Yeah, like they'll open shit like.
I guess like you ever see like those videos where people like play with the sand and like they'll like put it in like say like one of these and then they'll like use a credit card and they'll like cut it and like that's very satisfying. I think we all understand that. I think it's kind of the same idea, but it's like fetishes. It's like the act of what a fetish is. People I guess enjoy, but then certain fetishes are way too far.
I wouldn't use the word fetish.
I wouldn't use the word fetish.
Yeah, I don't think fetish is the right word. I think it's just kind of like. Some people like have like visually appealing things.
Oh no, I was just combining like the two different things. I think certain things are like satisfying, and I was applying that to that because he brought up the sexual nature of ASMR things.
Okay.
And I think in a lot of ways, it's the same thing, but there's just extremes, just like there is with like both of them. Like, but the ASMR thing is very weird to me. I never understood it.
The one time I was like just scrolling through Twitch, like trying to find someone to watch.
Yeah.
And I was just like scrolling through like the I forget what it was. I think it was GTA or something like that. And I was just scrolling through, and this one girl, I ended up like scrolling to a girl's thing, and she was like playing GTA. And then like every time she died, she would do like a 30-second like ASMR thing, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Twitch lost me.
No, Twitch is like
people are going crazy on Twitch though, right?
People do weird shit on Twitch.
I know. Actually, I don't actually know anything about it. I know they just changed their rules again, and I think Twitch is gonna die soon. I really do.
Really?
Yeah,
if it wasn't for people like Kai Cenat and Aiden Ross, but even both of them, didn't they get banned off Twitch?
I know. I think they did.
Aiden Ross did. I think Kai did at one point, but he must be back on there. If not, where the fuck did they live stream at? Because I know it's not YouTube.
I mean, they could go to YouTube, but I know there's another big streaming service that's coming out. But
well, you couldn't do what they do on YouTube either. Like YouTube's actually a lot more strict than Twitch. You couldn't do half the shit the girls are doing on Twitch on YouTube either.
No.
YouTube is extremely strict.
I think we talked this on a Not Safe for Work pod a while back, but again, GG hot tub stream. You know, you got to get that happening.
That's like what I was talking about. That was such an odd time of Twitch. What was going on there?
That was during COVID, wasn't it?
That was like, bro, if you were going to find a way to capitalize off absolutely nothing, that was it.
What are you talking about?
You never heard of these hot tub streams that girls would do on Twitch?
Twitch, because you could. I don't know Twitch's rules, but they were able to be in their bathing suits.
Yes,
but I think it has to be in like a setting where you need to be in your bathing suit. So they would just set up like a little kiddie pool or a hot tub.
Yeah. And like splash water on themselves and like dance around in the pool.
But the crazy shit was like, I remember like seeing like, they would like they'd be like, oh, donate me $1 and I'll write your name on my arm. Or this one girl, I think she's like one of the more famous ones. I don't know her name, but she had a big Pickle Rick, I think. And she would just write people's names on that. And like, it would be filled. So like you'd see, this thing's probably like about this big. And it would just be covered in names. So you have to think like that's probably a couple like $1,000 right there.
That's like
she would do like $3 donations minimum.
That's the one plus I'll give them is like them girls got creative.
Yeah, and you know what? Like,
they got creative because every time Twitch would try to like crack down on it a little bit harder, and they would just find a new way.
Always. Oh, and like you know what? I mean, personally, like I don't think I would do that, but I don't knock anyone who does that shit.
Well,
If you could find an audience that will pay you to do some simple shit like that, where you just watch, like, you're slightly in lewd stuff, but you're not doing anything other than like writing names and shit, bro. Like, make your money.
What I always thought was weird about it though is like, and this is just my perspective. I don't know their metrics, so I can't say this for sure, but I would have to imagine most of those people are extremely young and like minors, like below the age of 18. So like, and in many ways, like as an older girl, because you obviously have to be over the age of 18 to stream on Twitch. I believe you might be able to stream on Twitch if you're younger than 18, but either way, you can't do what they were doing.
Yeah.
How like your audience, like you got to think what you're doing to them fucking kids, and where are they getting that money from? Like that's always another thing I wonder is like half these people that donate to Twitch streamers, even if they're like just regular people, like they could be gamers, anything. Where do they get the money to do that? Because you need a credit card or a debit card. So what are they just taking their parents' cards?
I guess so. But then again, I also feel like it's not fair to like use that because no matter who you are, like we've had YouTubers that we've watched like growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even like think about like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, like what they did, or some of the shit that they do or did, definitely was not suitable for kids to watch. I mean, like Logan Paul like tasing a rat, like was not cool. Like
he did that.
Yeah, Logan Paul's been through a lot of controversies. That was like almost right after the Forest thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did he tease a rat?
Thought it was funny. Did it on a vlog.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, good. He's obviously grown past that. He's a different person. But at the time, like watching that, like any kid who watched that, like that's not okay. But I mean, he knew he had kid viewers, and I think even places like porn sites, like there's probably tons of kid users there. Like you can't really think about, like you should have it in the back of your mind, but you can't like base your whole channel around like.
Well, I mean, in a way, it's not fair because I mean, I'm sure even with just rules, you can say like what your target audience is. Like, oh, I don't want little kids to be watching my videos, but if they do, there's nothing I could do about it. Like, you can't restrict people from watching your content. So like in that area, I guess I definitely understand. Like for example, I know like we do dumb shit on this podcast often, and I know a lot of young kids watch our podcast. So like. In that way, you can't really control. But that comes back to the argument we had that one day, though. I think we were outside of Applebee's and we were talking about Alex Jones. And it was like...
yeah.
And it's like, but like, are you really... Or it might have been about Trump or somebody, I forget.
It was Alex Jones when he talked about the Sandy Hook thing.
Yeah. No, I think we might be bleeding two conversations, but because of what I'm about to say. And what I was going to say was like, at what point should you be held liable for what people do with the words that you say? So, like, if I say on here to Darrian, oh, it'd be awesome if I dove out that window right now. And then somebody goes and does that. Like, should I be liable for me just joking about that on a podcast and they went and actually did it?
Yeah, no, I know. It was the Trump January 6th.
Oh, yeah. And not that I was trying to defend him at all. I mean, I don't really understand that situation, nor do I really give a fuck about politics. But really what I'm just trying to get to is, like, how liable, because I know like people do that to a lot of podcasters, people do that to a lot of musicians, and just a lot of people that create content in general. It's like, at what point should you be held liable for like the things that you say? I don't know what I believe, but I definitely think like in our world, there's idiots and there's not idiots, and you shouldn't be an idiot, so you shouldn't just follow people blindly that you hear speak online. That's just kind of like from what I come from. Everybody should have an own individual approach or take on a situation, and if you are not capable of having an individual approach, you probably shouldn't be watching certain content online.
No, I agree. I also think that there is like levels to it. Like I think it depends who you are. I'm not sure if you should be. I don't know, because like, all right, so like with that, let's not say like what he did or like what happened there, but like with Trump is a great example. Like Trump was a president.
That whole situation's a great example because that's probably the biggest case in which we've ever, like, that was the biggest measurable event that encompasses exactly what we're talking about right now. Well, but that's like kind of what I was asking to try to get to the bottom line of is like, where's the line in the sand? Because
I think it depends like on what you're telling them to do. Like, because like, actually, I mean, there's definitely bigger odds. Like you go like Hitler, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Or actually right now, Putin. Yeah. Like there is tons of soldiers who don't want to fight for him at all, but they're kind of like forced to. But that's anyway. But the point is like I think it depends like how big the person is and like what kind of power that you hold. Like if you're a YouTuber, I don't know.
But like, legally that doesn't work though, right? Because for example, in law, and I'm no fucking lawyer again, Jesus, you have to specify this before somebody actually goes and violates us. But like if a law is a law, it has to encompass everybody. It can't just encompass people of certain status, I would believe. So, like, say, for example, I can't go sell Coke, and The Rock can go sell Coke, but The Rock's bigger than me, so he shouldn't be allowed to sell Coke. You know what I mean? But I can because I'm smaller than him. That's kind of weird, right? So it's either, like, everybody can just openly say what they want, or nobody can.
Yeah, but, I mean, realistically, laws aren't like that. I mean,
not all laws are.
I mean, like, if I go get a speeding ticket and it costs me $250, I'm like, damn. But if, you know, Mark Zuckerberg goes and gets a speeding ticket, it costs him $250, he's like, I'm just going to keep speeding. You know? So I mean, granted, that's not like I'm just saying like there's a lot of laws that just don't really are equivalent for both people or many either races. I mean, actually, and there are some laws that are made for like specific like for politicians or for like big companies and stuff like that, so they can't like walk like monopolies and shit like that. Yeah. But I don't know. Either way, I just think like if you're at a certain point in power, you should be held somewhat liable, but I guess it depends what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, I guess you probably like I think if there had to be a line, you probably shouldn't be openly telling people to go do dumb shit. Like I shouldn't be able to, not that I shouldn't be able to, but you should probably get at least scrutinized for telling people, go sell drugs. Why not? Let's just go do it.
So like, what happens. Is like, actually, you guys are great examples. You guys both work in schools. If you were to go tell your kids to go do something bad, you would be held liable, right?
But that's kind of what I'm getting at is like, if you openly just say, go do this. But like, say, for example, we're just talking about the act of doing something dumb. And at the time, I believe that's like what the big like shtick was. It's like people are just talking about certain scenarios in which people might get injured or sick if they do something or whatever. But if, say, for example, you just went to a kid and you're like, go push that kid over. Then I basically, like, I don't know what you would call it, but it's illegal for you to hire, like, a hitman on somebody. You didn't do the crime, but you had somebody else do it. You know what I mean? That probably doesn't necessarily apply. But I think it's kind of the same thing. It's like, I'm not going to go push the kid, but I'm telling this kid to go push that kid. So I should kind of be held liable for what I told that person to do. Unless, like I was saying, I think that's probably the line. If you're just talking about it, well, what if I went and pushed that kid? You're not telling anybody to do it, and you're not implying that you should. You're just saying that it's a possibility. And then at that point, I don't think you should be held liable. How the fuck do we even get to that? What were we talking about?
Couldn't tell you.
End of the world, right? Shit gets crazy.
Yeah, granted.
Shit does get crazy.
Super off topic. And I just want to know if you guys have dealt with this at all. These are obviously newish chairs at this point. They're still pretty new though compared to how long we had the old chairs for.
Yeah.
Do you guys like ever catch yourself trying to do this, like, but like down here? Because like the old ones were a little bit lower. Every time I'm here, I like it's probably if you like look for it, you'll see it. Yeah. I do this and I go and I have to like sink down.
It's weird because like these chairs, like they're in the studio, and you would think like for them just being in the studio, I probably haven't sat in them too often. But like the chairs that we use here is literally the same chair I have at my house. Yeah. So like I'm just so used to just like sitting in them now. These chairs are awesome though. I like them. They were the cheapest. I think like probably the best chairs we could have got for that amount of money.
Yeah, no, you guys definitely got to steal for these. These are tough.
We lucked out. We are trying to increase the production of this thing.
Yeah, which we got some real big news coming soon. I'm kind of big now on not talking about shit until like we
did a lot of that. Yeah. We did a lot of that. Big news coming soon. Yeah. Big announcement.
But that's like in a way it's good and in a way it's bad. I'm sure we had that conversation before, but in a way if you make it public, like you kind of have to hold yourself accountable if that's the type of person you are. Yeah. Or like if you're like us and you say something publicly and then you don't succeed in doing it, it's like really annoying. Like, at least for me, like, if I ever publicly say that I'm going to do something and then don't go through with it, like, it kind of is, like, a lot more of an added, like, annoyance on, like, the entire situation.
We set the beginning of this year to have 10,000 subs by the end of this year. Whew. What are we at?
What? Like 740 something. But I think, like, in a scenario like that, you should definitely aim big.
For sure.
And, like, I guess we did publicly say that, so, like, that could be put into this conversation.
Well, no, but we might still get there. We might just fucking do some wild shit at the end of the year.
But that's like kind of the point that I'm getting to is like you should definitely aim big, but like don't say like, oh, like we're gonna have that GG bus by fucking next month so we can start doing all these crazy pods. Like just be like, no, like we're gonna get it, but like don't like put a time frame on it. Yeah, type shit. Like that's like the difference. It's like we've said many a times in like past Corporate Nightmares episodes, like certain investments we were trying to make or certain plays we were trying to do or this, that, and the third. But if you're not like fully serious about it, but damn, I watched that shit shoot all the way over there. Yeah,
I got caught in 4K.
4K, well, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Yeah. Tissue real quick. But yeah, so we got some pretty big production things coming. The reason we're actually doing this pod right now, not only because of the end of the world, there was a couple different pods that we were trying to schedule, and one we actually did schedule. This is really annoying. I should probably wait for Darren to get back, but we could just continue talking about it until he does. We actually brought one of our guests up here. When was it? Was it yesterday?
No, it was
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. We brought a really cool guest up here that was supposed to come out this Thursday. That's why we had to push this episode back. very annoying situation. We posted some photos online. It was from the same day. We took that shoot with our guest, and then we literally get up here, and what we do, you guys never get to see this part because you're not in the room, is we have a mixer and then a camera. We start both of them at the same time. We let it roll for a couple. Then we get into the pod. We literally were letting it roll right before we got into the pod. And then a motherfucker pulls up outside with a big, like, bulldozer, a jackhammer, and then a fucking saw and starts just that shit outside. So literally, like, seconds before we started the pod, buddy's outside jackhammering and power sawing concrete. So for 2 days, he was doing it yesterday too, during the peak of the end of the world, which blew my mind.
Wild,
yeah.
And
they're fucking getting after it right in the middle of the smoke.
Literally in the middle of the storm. And even the first day that we were with the guest, we had at first planned on just coming back later on in that day after jiu-jitsu practice and just filming it again. We ended up just rescheduling, but then Darrian came home and the motherfucker was still out there doing the same shit at 10 o'clock. So even if we did decide to go through with that pod, he was still here, so we would have ran into the same fucking issue again. But that pod will be coming next week, so stay tuned. That pod's gonna be a banger.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, me and Darrian went to go to Turkey Hill like at late night, maybe like 9 p.m. and they were still out there. Like
that's
they weren't
insane.
making noise yet, but they were like doing some shit over there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what the fuck?
There's like laws behind that though, right? Isn't it like you can't after a certain point in time or a certain time you can't like be making that much noise?
I think it's after curfew, which I think is 11 p.m.
Really?
I think.
I forgot about curfew.
I'm trying to remember when we were jet-lagging.
Yeah,
like,
that's actually
I got
heard
caught one time. Like police officer like stopped by and we're like, oh, we were walking right down the block.
We used to walk the streets all the time.
Yeah, we
all
did.
the time.
It's crazy, bro. He just brought the word curfew, bro. I forgot like a curfew even existed.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
And like, I remember the other night I was coming home and it was like 2 a.m. So like, I get it. It's a late night to be driving, but a cop like followed me like from the Sunoco down there all the way down to like where I went on the side street. And I'm sitting here like, bro, I hope he tries to pull me over for some curfew shit. Like I'm some little 16-year-old kid. Like I was waiting for it.
Well,
like,
no, I mean, if you're 16 with a license, you can drive past that time.
You
Really?
You have to be an adult to do that. Actually, you
Really?
can't. Well, actually, at 16, I don't think you could even.
Yeah, you could have a license at 16.
I don't think you're supposed to even drive alone.
Or is that
no,
just a
you
permit?
could. That's just a
no,
permit.
you
With a
can't,
license, you could.
Yeah, but you can't be out past curfew.
Or you can't have.
I
like,
gotta
4 people
Google
in your
this
car or
because
something like
that's insane. No, that's also for a permit. I'm pretty sure. While you just have your permit, there's like a lot of like really weird things, like laws that go into it. But once you're a licensed driver, I believe none of that shit applies to you anymore.
With an adult, it's definitely on the permit. I don't know about the multiple people.
I don't know.
But that actually, you might be right about that too.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up as of this week, Friday, we're going to be unemployed for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Minimum. So what are we gonna do, bro? Like we have to get together and get a freaking plan.
Hold on.
Maybe we go take over Cracker Barrel with good buddy Brian.
I could get you guys a job like that. They need people. If you really need a job, I could get you a job.
All right. Well, this is weird. It didn't necessarily give me a full answer, but this is from PennDOT, and it says, after your teenager receives his or her driver's license, enforce a curfew, but as a parent. So, like, what it's saying is they recommend you enforce a curfew, but it doesn't say anything about there legally
Ask
being
AI.
a curfew.
AI would know.
That Snapchat AI is bullshit. You would have to ask ChatGPT that. That one's fucked up. Like
again, I told you, I'm pretty sure they're the same exact thing.
No, well, I mean, I've asked. I don't remember really any of them. This was an experiment I did a little while ago, but I asked Snapchat questions, and then I would ask like ChatGPT the same exact questions, and they would give me completely different answers.
Oh, okay.
But I'm pretty sure the Snapchat AI is a lot more like under control on what they want it to say.
Yeah.
Because, for example, I think if you ask Snapchat about like Instagram, like how does the Instagram messenger system work? Like I don't think they're legally allowed to talk about the Instagram platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I remember, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I asked it about something. It was like and it had to do with a different social media. I just forget what it was, but it said something along the lines of like they can't comment on like that for some reason, and I don't remember what it was. I might be completely lying right now, but it was something along those lines. But ChatGPT goes very in depth with things. I was telling Darrian the other day, like I'm not like great at not just typing, but I guess like I don't like use like Google Docs and whatnot. Like I don't make it as pretty as I possibly should, or like how I word things isn't like the best way of wording it. So like when I'm preparing for episodes or for guests or pods or whatever, and I write down like all the shit that I want to talk about or whatever, I've lately I attempted this with like our last 2 pods. I would have ChatGPT take the question I asked and just rephrase it better to make it more like captivating and make it just like overall a better and broader question. And it does a really good job doing that.
That's actually really cool.
So
I
like,
didn't think about that.
So say for example, I could say I'm having you on the pod and like ask Brian why he likes doing jujitsu on Tuesdays or just something dumb. Like just plug it in ChatGPT. Can you rephrase this question? And it'll be like, ask Brian like what it is about Tuesdays that he feels more motivated to do X. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just weird. It rephrases it so much better. But ChatGPT is pretty cool. I very quickly went from like not wanting to use AI on this podcast at all to like thinking it's so useful. Like so useful.
Yeah, we were talking to JJ the other day and he said that he uses AI for basically all of his functions.
JJ gave me a app for, not an app, an AI for clips. And it's still like in the beginning phase, but like what it does is so mind blowing. And mind you, I found a new one. I don't think I told you about this. I forget what it was called. But he sent me this AI where like you can literally take the link of a YouTube video. So say I did it with the NSFW one, the one that we just filmed, and you just copy and paste the link into their platform, and they will auto generate you. I think like with the basic plan, like the free one, like 20 to 30 clips from that pod. And for example, we only really post like 5 to 7 clips a week, which is honestly how I prefer it. I don't want to fucking post like 800 clips a day because I just think it's kind of annoying after a certain point. But
you could always post them on TikTok.
Well, I do. I post them everywhere.
No, I mean you could post all.
Oh yeah. I've thought about stuff like that too. But like what's actually cool about it is not only will it auto generate like 20 to 30 clips for you, but what it'll do is it'll also auto generate you what it believes would be like a viral title. It'll give you viral hashtags that they think apply to that video. Whoa. They will give you their score from like 0% to 100% on like the likelihood that the clip will do well, and specifically what platforms they think you should use it on, and like what times and whatnot you should post it. Like it's literally insane. Like not only will it literally in 15 minutes to a half hour edit all of those clips out for you with the captions and all, but it'll give you all of that additional info. And granted, the first one, the one that JJ sent me, the only reason that one doesn't work is because of the current camera situation. I was telling Darrian that
it zooms, right?
Yeah, like it. So what clips will do is this thing called auto reframe. So it'll try to be able to pinpoint who's talking at what time.
So kind of like that thing that you guys are going to integrate eventually, like
like the A-time. It basically just does that, but does it for you. I guess it got screwed up, and they say all over their page. So like this is definitely a fix that's coming. They like were talking literally all over the platform was like, we'll have an update coming out soon to fix the auto reframe problem, because they knew like a lot of people were having a problem with that. And that was my only like problem with the entire process, was that when it made all these clips, the clips are awesome, but the clips would not register Jake and I from this side of the table. For some reason, it was only you and Darrian. So like, because you were sitting there, Darrian was sitting here, it would only act like you two were talking. So it would really only stay over there. Even when Jake and I were talking, it wouldn't come over here.
And it would show Darrian talking or some shit?
Basically, like that's like kind of what I mean. So like say even like Jake and I were just having a conversation, it would still show your guys' side of the table, which is pretty weird.
Okay.
But then I found a new one, which is even better, because like it'll let you switch the aspect ratios, and maybe I'm like combining the two platforms, but the one that I was using recently does all of those things for you as well, like all those things that I just listed, and it's a dope ass platform. So once we like up the cameras and whatnot, I think that's a no brainer to go with like just an auto clip generator.
Yeah, that'd be dope, bro.
For AI,
imagine that.
Because people, I mean, bro, It's gnarly to think about, but clips, like the clip workflow is like the majority of like my podcast pie chart. Like actually editing, rendering, and making a podcast episode is way simpler than making a clip every single day.
If I had to guess, I think clips are what make podcasts viral.
Yeah.
And well-known and well-liked.
They definitely are, because like I said, I'm not like huge into podcasts.
Yeah.
But every time I watch them, it's always a clip.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are like that too. And we've had some of our most viral pieces of content ever come in the forms of clips.
More people probably watch clips of podcasts than the actual podcast themselves.
I would just imagine more people just watch clips in general than podcasts for sure.
For sure. But
like
I'm saying
exponentially.
Of podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, probably, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's been times where I've seen a clip of a podcast and I wanted to know what happens next, and they didn't have another clip of it, so I just went and had to search out the podcast and like find the time point and then just watch it through there.
And the clip can be very artful as well. So it captures like one moment of time, and people put music behind it and put like fucking noises and shit, and it makes it just a really cool moment.
What I like and dislike about clips is I just got this thought now is like you can very easily make a podcast like, let me try to think about a better way to word this. It's like, it's such a small segment of the pod. So like say for one 30-second segment of NSFW podcast, we're talking about sea turtles and that's all you fucking see. You don't know anything else that comes with that. But I guess that's kind of like the point of a clip is like, you're like putting this like bait out there and like trying to reel some more people in by like, this part's really interesting. Now come check out the rest of like what we have to offer. So like in that way, it's kind of interesting. But sometimes you'll see a clip about a podcast or a clip about a show or a clip about anything. And then you'll actually go like check it out for yourself and it'll be like nothing like you thought it was going to be based off the clip. But because I'm actually a podcast watcher. So like if I see a clip that's like really good, I'll go watch the pod. And it's typically like, you almost never even get to that point, like where the clip was taken. So it's just so different. But it's how you get out there. It's just how you get more of a reach.
I love clips.
I do too.
Love them shits.
The problem with clips though is like, I hate just scrolling on my phone. So like,
yeah,
the fact that like clips are like so beneficial for not only us but like for all content creators, it kind of sucks in that way. It's like
I can't wait for how the clips are going to turn out when we have 2 more cameras.
Those clips are going to be awesome. But those are the clips that like I think would do so good cuz like I think for what we have right now, our clips is as good as they could be. But all like your clip game gets way better when you
the whole
have
screen is going to be either you, me, or the guests.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
So like you only get a fraction of what's actually happening, like visually. But when you get 2 of those cameras, you're going to get a whole entire screen of which one.
You're going to start getting more self-conscious too. Like, fuck.
You might have to fucking, shave the trim. Yo, speaking of, bro, Giovanni just left, and now I don't know what I'm going to do about getting my haircut.
Really?
No idea.
I'm switching back to Jose.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
think he's going to take you back in with graceful arms?
You might have to chop your shit a few times
I
to
know,
make sure you're loyal.
I'm going to come back and he's going to give me a buzz cut, but like, this is just for the hard times.
What are we doing about the fucking employment facts this summer, bro?
Yeah, what
do you think we just go rogue and just figure it out? Like, just go all or nothing?
Yeah, hit the road?
Or do we go cop a job at fucking Target?
OMD, buddy?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Fuck, buddy, I don't know. Yeah. See,
I might just practice jujitsu all summer.
Yeah, just all summer?
Yeah.
Dedicate
jiu-jitsu and podcasting all summer.
But that's not fair. Like, how are we supposed to catch up? Like, take a fucking break.
That's the point. I don't think you guys will ever catch up.
You don't think?
Yeah,
unless you guys put in
he takes
work.
a year off. He's gonna take a year off. He's gonna go do like fucking like Muay Thai or something for a year, and then he's gonna be mad as fuck when we're both purple belts and he's still a blue belt, and then we can strangle him.
Is that the only goal? Is to fucking take me out and then you'll resign?
No,
I mean,
absolutely
the goal is just to like
get
learn
better.
something. Yeah, like
get
have
better,
fun.
learn something.
But
Physical fitness. I'm telling you, listen, you guys are gonna get in tremendous cardiovascular shape.
Oh,
just
yeah.
fucking around jiu-jitsu.
I was talking to when I rolled the purple belt. Like after like 3 minutes of him like just strangling me, I was up and I was like taking breaths and I was trying to have small talk with him before I got back in there, and I was like, yeah, bro, fuck learning like all this like different types of way to strangle and fucking get out of a hold and shit. Like I just need to work on my cardio. He was like, yeah, all right, let's go. And I was like, all right,
slap bump.
Like,
bro, he said the same.
Are you training tonight?
Huh?
You training?
No, I have to go right home and edit this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you coming?
I don't know if I'm going to Bad Company, but I'm going to be training tonight.
That's what he said. He didn't like say it like that.
Shout out
but
Bad Company. We got something coming soon.
Yeah, something coming soon. Bad Company. That's where we're training. Awesome gym. Shout out Tyler.
Shout out Tyler. Dog.
Yeah, for welcoming us
welcoming.
I said I don't even know what I just said for welcoming us in there. Yeah, it's a great gym, and I've been having a tremendous amount of fun doing it. But with that guy, we were rolling. We were doing like 5 or 7 minute rounds, I forget, but there was literally like 40 seconds left, and it was like right after he had tapped me. And I'm sitting here like tight. I'm like,
roll with Tyler
breathing.
too, right?
Huh? Yeah.
You gotta tell that story.
I tapped Tyler. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna keep bringing that up though. He let me do it, obviously. But the other guy though, literally 40 seconds left, and I'm chilling there, and I'm like breathing so heavy because like I'm just dead. Like he just tapped me like 4 times in a fucking 4.5 minute segment.
I know, bro.
And then I'm sitting here dying because like for a little while, in a couple of them, I was like fighting for my life. And like 40 seconds left, and I'm just dying. He's like, come on, let's go. Like, just chilling. Yep. Like, I mean, I guess he was in the favorable position the entire time, so I should be a lot more tired than him, but it's also just has to do with the time. Yep. But with Tyler, when I was rolling with Tyler, that shit was crazy. Who is a black belt? Wait, he's a 3rd degree black belt?
No, I don't know if he has any. Or
am I thinking of Raph?
Raph's 4th degree, so I don't know if Tyler has any degrees yet.
I feel like every time he always says 3 or 4 stripes.
Oh no, I think the reason I'm thinking that is 'cause I think he said he's been a black belt for 3 years, right?
Yeah, and you get your degree after like your first degree after a couple, like maybe 4 years,
That's
8 years, something like that.
Insane. It takes like longer to get a degree when you're already a black belt than it does to like just progress through the belts themselves, which is like that's like really crazy. But no, the reason why I say I tapped Tyler is though because and I was explaining this to Brian, so with the first guy, like when we were starting from side control, with him I didn't like really verbalize it because I just wanted to try, but I had no idea how to attack. So like while I'm on top, like when I first started with him, I just didn't move for a couple seconds because like I just didn't know what to do. So when I started rolling with Tyler, that's like one of the first things I went and I rolled with him first. The first time he just killed me, and then the second time I actually asked him, I'm like, so what, like, how do you attack from this position? And then he showed me like a good choke to do from that position, like after whatever, you got to do something and you end yourself up in this position where you could choke him. So I did that. And then he showed me it. And then we started again. We broke and then we came back and he let me start from that same position and like try it for a second. And then I actually got it. And then he let me tap him. So, like, he was just showing me how to attack from that position. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's cool, man. I like Tyler. We're about to have him on the pod soon. I'm excited for that. We got some really cool guests coming up.
Yeah, we actually have a few that we're very excited about the guests.
And potentially a trip.
Yeah, to Toronto. I was talking to Jake about that at the gym
Montreal.
today. Yeah, it is Montreal.
Montreal, buddy.
Speaking of fucking Canada, buddy, though, like,
not for real, though. Were you talking to Jake about that?
Yeah, I brought it back up to him today.
You think he'd want to come?
Yeah, he told me he would, like, but for him, though, like, we just have to actually have, like, an idea on the time frame.
Does he have a passport?
Yes, I believe. I hope
That's so stupid, bro.
I mean, he's been on a bunch of cruises. You don't necessarily need a cruise or a passport for a cruise, though, right?
You don't need one, no.
Really? If you're going to different countries?
It depends. It depends. Certain criteria needs to be hit, but like you don't.
It's weird, and I think I looked into this one time when I found that out. Actually, I think when you go on a cruise, and again, I could absolutely be wrong here. But when you go on a cruise, say like we board in America and we go to like say where's like a good spot to go on a fucking cruise to, like the Caribbean.
Okay.
Fucking say you go to the Caribbean, right? And say I beat the fuck out of somebody in the Caribbean, right? I think I'm still legally tried as an American. Like they have to bring me back to America for me to be tried. I think when you're on the boat, all of the laws of America still apply to you, even if you go somewhere else because of like the boat situation, which I don't really understand. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's why they don't require you to have a passport, because you're still legally going to be tried as an American regardless. So if you go there, they're not just going to keep you if you get in trouble. They will have to send you back, and you'll still have to be tried as an American, because whatever happens on a cruise ship, I believe still all falls under American law.
Damn.
So
it's pretty crazy, ain't it?
Yeah. But I believe he has his passport. I got to ask him about when I brought up Canada, I'm pretty sure
he's going for a cruise this summer or in December.
But if I'm right, though, you don't need a passport for a cruise. So maybe. But I mean, I'm sure he understands that you need a passport to go to Canada. And if I brought it up to him, he probably would have said, I don't have a passport.
You know what's crazy? I think if you're below 16,
you
don't need a passport to go to Canada.
That's true.
Yeah, did I ever tell you the story about that? Because I went to Canada once when I was younger. I went to Toronto. And I went with my 2 grandparents and my 2 cousins, Aaliyah and Mariah. And back then, I don't know if this still applies now, but back then you needed a handwritten letter from both of your parents stating that like you crossing the border lines with these people is okay. And which, I mean, maybe I don't remember everything that you needed, but just 2 handwritten notes still seem like that wouldn't be a great idea. But nonetheless, they only had a handwritten note from both of them, but from one parent. So we got not detained, but we had to like stay with like the border patrol people for like 2-3 hours until they were able to like verbally verify that it was okay that they were crossing the border from the other parent.
Wow.
And so I know they didn't need passports, and we were all under the age of 16 back then, probably.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird legality that goes into that shit.
What if we make that happen though next month? Like, we can actually do that.
Yeah.
We can legit do that. It's a 7-hour road trip.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I mean, you wouldn't really even have to fly. You can make a fun little trip out of it. You can stop by New York, like you can go to New York. I mean, you have to go through New York to get to the Canadian border.
We just cop a little B&B, safe for a few days.
That'd be awesome. And that's exactly what I said to Jake. I was like, it would just be dope if we go down there, we get an Airbnb for like the week, rather than like you and I, every time we want to travel, taking like a fucking 2-day trip to just go do a pod and then come right back.
Yeah.
Like I'm a traveler too. Like I want to make like a trip out of it. I want to make an experience out of it.
Too,
so
bro.
I think that'd be our best bet. And then we could hang out in Canada for a little while. Hopefully there's no fires going on.
Yeah, that'd be badass. Hit up TriStar Gym. Go train with Faraz Sahabi and GSP.
Yeah, GSP.
That'd be dope. Kevin's first MMA practice was with a professional featherweight. And a motherfucker, too.
That's crazy. And then, well, most coaches, I would imagine, at in like a jiu-jitsu school are black belts, right? Or like probably like a brown, at least.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know the one coach that's probably going to be there today. I think he's just a purple belt.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, wasn't
how
James?
was.
James was a purple belt.
He's a brown belt
coach.
now.
Yeah,
But he was just a purple belt when I first started training with him.
And then my first jiu-jitsu practice training with Tyler. Like that's awesome. I've been blessed in my
MMA career.
MMA journey so far.
Sure.
Yeah, blessed.
Yes, definitely have been.
Me. So here, hold on. Let me. Oh fuck, I'm forgetting too. This timestamp is a problem, but I actually might have a bit of a solution for that. And we're back. Yeah, those are a couple of really cool guys we have lined up. These next couple of pods are going to be very interesting. We have a couple big UFCs in July that I'm very excited for, as long as the world doesn't end.
What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Will the world end?
Below.
Will it not?
I mean, yesterday it really was looking like that.
Yeah. Well,
Today it cleared up. That's what I was saying. I'm almost tight that we had to do the end of the world pod.
How cool was that, right? When we were walking outside.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's tragedy going on in the world, so it's really not that cool. But it was
good to look at.
It was an experience, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But how cool was it though when we were walking and it was freaking orange outside and the sun was like bright crimson in the horizon and there was smoke everywhere. It just looked super, super eerie and like it was looking through a lens.
Especially when we were at Barney and we didn't even really know what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt weird during that, bro. Like I was outside for maybe 30 minutes max.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I felt weird, but it felt like we were kids again, bro, talking about the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like we used to walk from city to city when we were younger, like 16, 15 years old. And, bro, we would just get in these wild conversations about everything in the world. And that was it felt like one of those conversations.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's a good point.
How you'd survive in a zombie apocalypse, what would be the first thing? And then we got into, like, the psychology of the groups and then the political structures that would inevitably form if you had a bunch of different people in your group.
Yeah.
I just think it would be crazy.
What's awesome about that conversation, though, is, like, you could, like, talk about it all day. But, like, I would really, like, not that I would actually love to see it, but it'd be cool in a simulation.
I'd like to do a simulation.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be tough.
To, like, see what would
simulator.
actually happen in our world and our society if it did happen. Because, obviously, there's endless movies, there's endless video games. You can get an idea of what you believe would happen. But, like, what would really happen? Like, that's, like, what always confuses me about those scenarios. I don't know why this just popped in my head, but do you guys remember that one time? I know we talk about it often, but that one time we were walking from my house to Darian's house, and we ran into those two crazy people outside of Kirby Park. That was still one of the wildest stories in my entire life.
Can you go back to that time?
I hope this isn't like one of those stories where, like, you know how they say, like, your memory is just like your memory of your last time remembering something?
Yes.
And, like, over time, it's like a game of telephone and it fucking changes. But,
last time you told this story, bro, I got the flashback like I was there.
Bro, it was so freaky.
Yeah, I could always see it. Like,
I vividly, bro, like, and it's so crazy because I hope this is like a major shout out. Like, really, only the real ones will understand this. But at the time, us three were heavy Mr. Nightmare watchers. So, like, we would always be at either my house or Darian's house.
There was a man.
And oh man. Shout out, Mr. Nightmare. Come on up, pod, son. We'll cover your face. We'll blur you out. You don't even got to worry about none of that. But at the time, so we were heavily invested into, like, our, like, horror genre, like the mystery, the suspense, and, like, just all that crazy shit. And as Darian was talking about before, we would always walk back and forth between our houses. If any of you guys are familiar with the area, it's, like, right outside of Kirby Park and what's that? That, like, military building that's right there. Do you guys know? It's like they have the circus, the armory. So, like, there's Kirby Park on your left, the Armory on your right. That's just like the picture. Like if you're driving down the road, that's the picture that I'm talking about.
Well, it's like you're right when you get off the Market Street Bridge.
Kevin, the Armory's also on your left.
No. What I'm saying is like, say you're facing Kirby Park and the Armory. The Armory's on your right, Kirby Park's on your left, the Armory's on your right. But I'm saying like, if you're driving or if you're just looking at it from that side, or if you're looking at it from that angle, Kirby Park's on your left. And like whenever I think about this scenario in my head, I always see it from that angle. Like there's a camera like watching us. But we were walking that little stretch. It's just a straight road. And what the fuck's going on?
That's interesting. Like, that's not. Like, I feel like when I think about it, I'm like,
I'm
still looking right at it.
Yeah, right at those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're in a sitcom.
That's the theatrical person within me. I look at everything like it's a fucking movie.
Okay.
But again, wild story. So we were just walking randomly, and there is a guy in a wheelchair, and then a guy pushing a guy in a wheelchair.
Mind you, it was 3 a.m.
Yeah. Well,
outside
yeah, it was like 3 a.m. I don't remember the exact time, but I remember like an instant feeling. Like every time I think about it in my head, the reason I am saying it's like theatrical is because like I almost remember it being like pitch black, but it was just like two people sitting still in like the middle of like a lit up light. Like, you know what I mean? It looked like there was like a street light that was like just making them visible, but they were just chilling there. So as we approach, I don't like fully.
Were we walking behind them for a while?
No.
We know, like we saw them; they were just in that position. But we were walking that way for a while.
They were just standing in one spot.
No. We were walking towards your house, and they were walking towards us, but they stopped us because, like, I mean,
they asked us for the time, right?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say first is like, and I don't like actually visually remember how the people looked, but I remember the guy in the wheelchair really freaked me out.
Actually, I know how they look.
Did the one guy have like long black hair?
Yeah. All right, so the guy pushing it had long, strangly black hair, and the guy in the wheelchair was missing both of his legs. Yes. He had they were amputated.
Yeah.
And then he
wasn't his arms
had,
fucked up too though? Like
in the middle of his head, right?
He had like a weird and it wasn't like some religious thing. It was like a weird. It looked like a blood spot, just right in the center of his head, and. I think the other guy kind of looked like your average homeless guy, like real like.
But he was skinnier.
Right?
See, I don't remember that guy at all, bro. I just remember being scarred seeing the guy in the wheelchair.
I can just see their picture in my head, and I'm like,
just a guy like in the dark standing there with the wheelchair. It was like something out of fucking. You remember that game Outlast,
so
like the Asylum game?
Wild, yeah.
So wild.
You remember Outlast, the Asylum game? It's like something out of that. We used to watch that back in those days.
Oh yes,
where they were in the asylum, the guy like dove out the wheelchair. Yeah. Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
But like he kind of looked like a real like stringy like real like
tall guy, right?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna. I feel like I'm trying not to be too rude, like because this is a human, he just probably went through his own thing, but it was scary. Like he looked like something out of a horror movie, pushing a guy with no legs, a big blood splotch here, something wrong with his arms. And the guy, I don't think the guy in the wheelchair really talked much, but he just goes.
No, do you remember, like, that's the part that freaked me out the most. Do you remember the guy, like, mumbling? Like, it sounded like he was trying to talk. And again, maybe this is why I brought up that initial part about, like, maybe I'm just falsely remembering this. But this part was very vivid to me. Like, the guy in the wheelchair, it's like he was trying to talk, but he couldn't. He was like, like that's like what he was doing the whole time, and it was freaking me the fuck out, bro. Like really freaking me out.
It was kind of like a TV thing because I don't remember that as well, but I do remember like the guy trying to say something, me not being able to understand him, but like the guy behind him would talk for him. So like they stopped us and like, hey, you know the time? And it was between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m.
Weren't they like completely wrong about the time too?
Yeah. I think they thought it was like 10:30 or something like that, or like they thought it was late because it was obviously pitch black out. But then they're like, okay, do you guys know where the nearest gas station is? And I'm like, I don't think there's any gas stations open. It's 1 a.m. Like, I don't know where you wanted to go. And we're like,
well, it was like 3 a.m. And I think they thought it was like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't remember.
But that like, I mean, out of all the creepy things that happened that night, I guess that one sounds the most innocent. But that one like freaked me out the most because I feel like no matter who you are and what your situation is, you should probably have a general idea of what time it is.
Yeah, and also, like, how old were we?
We were probably around that.
We're like 15, 16, maybe even. Nah,
well, I'm younger than you guys, so I was probably like 15.
So like it's like 1 to 3 a.m. We're walking on walking over the Market Street Bridge, and you just see straight out of it was out of a horror movie. Like I feel bad about.
We've seen a lot of shit on, like during that time, bro.
Yeah, but what
there?
What
you see some shit at night, dog?
Yeah. You remember the one guy, you and I saw them. We were going to, it was snowing, and we were going to Domino's right down the street from your house.
That's what I was thinking of
and we
too.
saw what do they call him? The Smiling Man?
Yes,
That, bro.
Whoa.
Again, another major Mr. Nightmare reference. If you never seen.
That wasn't a Mr. Nightmare thing. That was
he
one of
did
those short
something about it,
films.
though. Yeah, it was a short film, though. He's right. So watch The Smiling Man on the short film horror story thing, and you'll get the picture of what I mean. But I have I'm actually going to put it in the pod. Bing! This shit right here, you probably won't get a very clear view. Maybe I can blow it up and just get rid of the screen for a second. But that's what I mean. This motherfucker was doing exactly what the guy in the Smiling Man.
He was like prancing across the street.
Prancing, and bro, I remember he like jumped on the curb and like jumped and like heel clicked his feet, bro.
Yeah.
Like exactly what the guy would do in that fucking that short story.
Yep.
Like walking down the road all weird, like clicking his toes and like prancing around and shit.
For some reason, right, if the wheelchair guy, that's your scariest one. If that's your scariest one, my scariest one was different, bro.
Really?
I swear, is it the one with me?
Yes.
Bro,
Yes.
no, this
Was it the guy standing across the street?
this
bro,
story
it's
infuriating.
Was it that one though?
Yes.
I wasn't there, right?
No.
I remember the argument
I don't
though.
know why.
I feel like one of those nights, like we were having that argument and we were talking about it, and then that. Well, no, I'm saying like, and this is probably completely wrong, but I feel like we were having like that conversation when we like ran into those guys.
I want to explain this night though.
Go ahead.
Like, what I remember seeing.
I'm gonna let him tell it, and I'm
I'm
He's
gonna
gonna
explain
debunk
what I
it?
remember seeing. Okay, so remember the SG? You know where the SG is on Market Street?
What do you mean by SG?
There's like a little statue that just says SG in front of a building, and it's like right past the bridge. Like
It's like kind of like right in that same area where you're talking about. It's like across the street from.
Yes, across the street.
You know where it's
close.
near? It's near KJ's Pickle Barrel.
Oh yeah.
Right near there. So it was like probably 3, 4.
Oh, actually, I think I know exactly what you're talking
3,
about.
4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Probably, right? And Brian and I are just walking, and I don't know what we're talking about. Probably some creepy shit, bro. And
Probably.
And there's some shit across. We look across the street, and bro, I see like this short guy, right? He must have been like 5'5", 5'4", something like that. And he had long black hair.
He did.
And it was like over his face.
Yeah.
And he was just looking down, and the hair was just past his face. Like there was no face to this guy.
Yeah.
And it was just long black hair, and he was just leaning against the pole with like this big black trench coat on.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, what the fuck is he doing? And I'm looking at Brian like, bro, we got to get out of here like now. And Brian's like, bro, he's all the way across the street. Like, we're good. I'm like, bro, we got to go.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but this dude just gave me a bad vibe. And I don't know, I was terrified.
I'm going to give you a little bit more to that story. So that's basically it. Just a weird looking guy, hair down, did kind of look like on some grudge shit.
He looked like a grudge, bro. It was crazy.
Just standing. But, I mean, most of you who are watching this probably know where the Market Street Bridge is. It's very long. I think it can fit like maybe like 6 cars altogether. Like,
well, on
in
there,
width,
probably,
yeah. The actual Market Street itself, I think, has like probably
4 lanes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4
it's
lanes on
in
each.
width it could fit.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here, and at the time I was even in worse shape than I am now. Like I'm in decent shape now, but like then I was going out. So I'm sitting here like this guy's doing nothing. He's just standing there, and I'm like, it's a crackhead.
Yeah.
The guy's probably literally going through hell or heaven right now in his head, and they're just like, bro, like that, bro. We need to run. I'm like, what?
I don't know if I said we need to run. I don't know.
No, bro, you ran. Bro, you literally, you didn't run far. You ran like maybe like half a block, and I'm like, fuck, and I had to follow you. That's why I get so mad about this story.
For real?
Yeah, because I literally had to like, you're like, nah, bro, I'm fucking going. And you just ran. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's hilarious.
This guy didn't do anything, didn't move. I'm over here like jogging to catch up to him, and I'm looking over, guy's still just head down.
Zonked out.
I think there was one time, I don't know who was together. I think I actually might have been by myself during this time. Yeah. I think I was linking with somebody. But I was on the Market Street Bridge, and there was a dude. It was like 2, 3 in the morning, and he was like screaming at people. Like there was another group of people like on the bridge, and there was this one guy like being like physically or like verbally aggressive towards these people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like I'm by myself. Like what the fuck do I do? Because he just saw him and started like arguing with him.
Yeah.
And then I was like right behind him. I think that was pretty scary too.
Wait, don't you have a story like you were going to school or something like that, and you saw like some guy in like a clown mask or something like that?
Yeah.
No, bro, I have a story just like that. I think we actually talked about this recently.
Same guy, bro.
Bro, that was some freaky shit.
When I went to this one school, I had to catch the bus at like 6 in the morning, and we were driving to school one day in the school bus, and there's this like, I don't know, hill, and I look out my window, and there was this guy on the hill with this like weird demon mask on, just watching the school bus.
That's so freaky that you say that. And like, is that, I can't describe my story any differently. The only thing I remember is he had like a weird brown mask on, and he was waving at us. And You know where I was on my way to school too. It was in the morning. But do you know when I used to live in Hanover, we would have to drive past that, like, it's like that big long road that has like that cemetery on it. There's like 2 cemeteries, right? So I was coming down that road, but it was all the way up. There's like this little stretch where there's like a couple houses going up this little hill, and he was at like the top house. We were passing that one. I just remember looking out my window and seeing them standing there with a mask on, just waving at me like that. It was so
what's that person's
weird.
story about, bro? Like, what the fuck does he got going on?
I always,
you know what though? Like, I mean, that is some weird shit. But we've had those ideas, which like go like scare kids and shit. Like when we were younger, like we don't know. Like,
by himself.
yeah, and that early.
Like, I mean, whatchamacallit? I guess it just takes more like.
Speaking of our ideas, bro, remember the 3 pigs arc? Should we talk about that? Should
Bro,
we talk about that?
Well, on that same topic, I mean, we could. I don't really care.
We already told like our victim, right? Like we only had like one.
I
person.
believe.
All right, now we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Now it seems like we did
But what I was going to say real quick before we get into that is, like, this is why, like, you shouldn't judge people for the dumb shit that they do when they're, like, 15, 16, 17, because think of all of the dumb ass shit that we did in those years, just walking back and forth, or all these really crazy stories we have, or the abandoned building arcs, or, like, all those crazy things.
Yeah. That was a fun time in life.
Yeah, it was, absolutely.
It really was.
But, like, you see, like, people watch the pod now and they think, like, we might have good takes on certain things. We might be wise in certain areas. We might be complete idiots. But if we all had to be judged for what we did when we were that young, it would be a completely different story.
Saying that, and obviously not for everything. There's a lot of stuff I definitely do, but I think there's still a lot of stuff I did when I was younger.
I wouldn't
if I was presented with that opportunity again, I'd probably do that shit again.
Just to relive it?
I'd go, no, not even relive it. Like if someone said, like, yo, you want to go explore this abandoned building? It's real tough. I'd be like,
I might do it too right now, for sure.
I'd still be interested. The only problem now is, like, we're fucking adults now.
Yeah, I mean.
So if you get in trouble, you get in trouble.
Yeah, we've had some stories in those buildings too, bro.
Yeah.
You know, remember we had ideas in that pizza shop of starting our YouTube channel and exploring.
Yes.
And stuff.
It's crazy how it all worked out. Yeah.
You know, except this jackass didn't want to. I'm just kidding.
It is crazy. No,
remember the pelican
weird.
dude?
Yeah, you look like a milk in your mouth. Go some shit like that. But no, I remember the exact day you're talking about, and this was actually a wild story. It kind of chains into that. Remember we were outside of what was that building across the street from Holy Redeemer that they tore down?
Oh. Yeah, we went with my dad.
Yeah. But I remember we were walking from McDonald's to that place or from that place to McDonald's when we had that camcorder. And we were either going there to try to explore it or to just check it out or to do something.
Did I go together or did you guys take me again?
I don't remember.
I think we went there together. But you remember?
You were there with my dad, were you?
I went, but I didn't go in the building. Because maybe I think at the time I was like big. I couldn't get over the fucking fence or something, or whatever it was. Yeah. But I remember the part that was crazy about the story was I'm pretty sure you guys or whoever we were with, I know you were there, came running out because you heard something in there or you heard somebody or something. And I remember like a month after that happened, is when that place got busted for there being like a big drug ring going inside of that building, which was wild.
What's that place called again?
I forget. That's why I was asking.
I mean, it's not there anymore. Now it's through the bus terminal.
But I remember when we were going there though, like we were, it might have been the same day. I might be twisting up the stories.
Can't think of the name of it.
But we were either walking from McDonald's to there or from there to McDonald's, but that's when we had that camcorder and we were talking about like the YouTube channel and shit.
Yeah, we were actually messing around with that back then.
Yeah.
What's
crazy.
called?
Little nut-ass camcorder.
That place was like just filled with like vases and shit, right? Like wasn't one floor just filled like with like vases and like old furniture and shit like that? Yeah.
There's probably hella cocaina in them vases, dog.
Yo, real quick, because just why it's on the mind, and like I actually genuinely want to know if you guys know the answer. So remember the synagogue, obviously.
Yeah.
What was that room filled with like jail cells for?
Oh, I think it was where they packaged like meat.
That's actually weird. I remember the jail cell room, but I can't like visually see it. But I remember there being bars, and I didn't understand that.
I'll be honest, bro. It was kind of like think about the one zombies map, Black Ops 2, the one
Mob of the Dead.
Yeah, like
the prison, Alcatraz.
It kind of like looked like that because there was 2 floors.
There was a freezer there too. Remember there was a freezer.
I don't remember the freezer.
We were like, you guys went in the freezer and we closed you guys in.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I think so we tricked somebody into going in the freezer and then we closed somebody in the freezer.
That's probably such a dumb idea.
That's so fucked because what if that shit you couldn't get that shit back open?
You call the police. That's what you do.
Yeah, that is what I mean. That's what you gotta do in that scenario. Or it turns into a horror movie. You get left there, or we all get killed inside the synagogue.
You trapped him into the freezer, and then we get spooked away. And he's trapped by himself. Yeah.
Oh, we all like, Brian, we're going for help. We'll be right back. Yeah. And then you start hearing shit while you're in the freezer. Yo, bro. See, I love this freaky shit. I don't know why, bro. I don't get it.
We gotta have a sleepover soon, bro.
That'd be tough. Yeah, and bro, I forget. I think we were definitely just talking about this the other day, but we were talking about like watching. Yeah, it was the other night when we were gonna have a sleepover at your house or something happened. We were talking about going to watch like them short films again. We should, bro. It's the summer.
I'm with
that.
It's
about to be the summer, so now we got to, right?
Sleepover.
Those stories are the best though. Like those abandoned buildings. Like we probably have infinite abandoned building stories. There's so.
What's your craziest abandoned building?
Damn, I don't know. We've had a lot.
I'll be honest. I think the genuinely scariest one was, I think it was with you, but like it wasn't like I wasn't like scared. I think it was you almost falling through the floor of where the new apartments are gonna be built. Yeah. Like you were like half your foot went down. I was like, I genuinely thought you were gonna fall right through. Cause I remember like thinking like, that's probably not a good idea to be up here.
Remember we used to always be warned by the old heads like, yo, you got to watch where you step.
Yeah.
And then.
Bro.
I think you told me like, Darren, you shouldn't go over there, and I definitely.
Oh my, because that's why that was in my head. Because I was sitting there, I feel like I was like, we shouldn't step on this stuff. Like this doesn't look or sound good. You're like, meh.
Yeah.
And bro, half his foot went. Boom. I'm like, bro. I just remember thinking you were gonna die. I was like, fuck. Cause we were on like the 4th floor.
Yeah.
You were deaf here. I don't know if you were. I doubt it because of the crew, and I really can't even get into like name dropping that crew. But you
talking about the VA?
Yes. You know what I'm talking about?
Bro. I'm still calling malarkey
bro,
because I didn't see
all of that. Fuck it all. I don't care. Whatever you call me a liar, whatever. I'll put it on whatever you want, but I know what I saw. And I know other people saw it too. I'll actually say him, Malik, because me and Malik are cool. Malik saw it too, and I hope he still remembers this story. So obviously it was me, Darren, Malik, and a bunch of other people. There was like a couple girls there, and there was a couple other guys there as well. We went to that VA, whatever the fuck that building is.
Which is, for reference, is an abandoned nursing home.
Yeah, it's like an abandoned nursing home, couple different floors.
With a morgue.
Yes, and the crazy part about this story is all the underground tunnels. So there's underground tunnels between the entire building that connect like the building to like the water tower to their outside facility thing that they had. Just know that there was a bunch of underground tunnels. We entered one of the underground tunnels, and it was one of them things where you're with a bunch of girls or whatever. You wanted to be in the front. You wanted to be, I'm saying him.
Courageous.
Yeah, courageous, right? So I remember it was me, and I'll say Tali too. Tali still, my friend. So Malik, Tali, and I were like up in the front. You were here, right? Okay. We were up in the front. And we were just bullshitting. And bro, I remember we were walking down the one corridor, like the one like hallway. It was just a long ass hallway in this underground tunnel. And I vividly remember this. So I can't unsee this. We were walking in the hallway, and then we get to the point at the end of the hallway where it kind of like opens up into like a smaller square room. I don't know where that part led to because we didn't go any further.
There's a certain part on the path where it's like construction area, and you have to go through like this really small little tunnel. It's crazy.
It was fairly narrow. Like it's like kind of you probably couldn't fit two people shoulder to shoulder.
Wires and shit all throughout that. Remember?
But all I remember, and again, this is how deep the story goes because we left right after this. But we get to that point right where the tunnel opens up into like that little box. What was that? See, you should start getting spooky now. I'm waiting for Slender Man to pop his head. No, Jack's chilling. He's right here. See?
It was probably Anthony, right?
Probably. The light starts flickering. The end of the world happens. Boom. Yeah. But we get to the end of the hallway, and again, I'll never forget it. It was like just a pool, like probably like the size of my laptop, like a pool probably like this size, of just red liquid. I don't know what it was.
Was it like a bright red or was it like a?
It was just like reddish brown. Like it was like it looked like it could have been blood. This shit looked like it could have been that fucking V8 juice. Like it could have been. The thing I always go back to though is like, no matter what the answer is, I will have endless questions. It's like if it's blood, I have questions. If it's fucking juice, I have questions. Because either way, it was fresh.
Wasn't there a trail though?
Not to my. Actually, there might have been.
From my experience, right? I was all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like a game of telephone.
Yeah.
So like I was in the back and I would get messages from this person to this person to this person, and I'm getting messages like yo, they're saying like there's like a trail of red stuff.
There might have been.
And I'm like, they're cats.
There might have been like drips. That might have been like what actually like scared us at first. But I just vividly remember seeing the pool because like I was up in the front and like when I saw it, and again like typically I'm the investigator kind. Like I would love to figure out what the fuck's going on there, but I was so freaked out that my initial instinct was to just turn around and sprint, and that's literally what we all did. We all just turned around and ran out of there.
Yep.
And we never went back. To my knowledge, I don't think I ever went there again.
So for a while, that was so fun, bro.
Yeah.
So for a little bit, I'm hearing stories like, there's like a red trail, right? Like, oh yeah, they're lying. And then like all they hear is like, yo, and then everybody starts sprinting, bro. And that's the most fun part, especially when you get out alive. Like you're like,
let's go, bro. The only possible debunk, and again, I'll say like I'm not bullshitting. I know what I saw, but the only over all these years,
that was so much fun, bro.
Yeah,
oh my God,
I know, bro. I love these good times.
Oh, such a
but
good time in life.
the only debunk I've ever been able to come up with what it possibly could have been that would make the whole scenario just okay, like nothing was actually wrong, was that it was some kind of concoction of rusty water.
Yeah,
like
that's crazy. That's literally, I was going to wait till you finish talking and say that.
But again, it's just, I don't think the color and the consistency of what it was, you can say it was rusty water. But that was the only thing that I was able to like consciously come up with, is the only reason that would have made sense, like for it to be there. And again, like when I first saw it, the first thing I thought is like somebody got hurt or an animal got hurt and they were just taking like shelter in there. That's like the first thing I thought. Well, no, the first thing I thought is that somebody got murdered. But the first realistic idea I came up with was just like a person or an animal got hurt and that's just where they were. But if a person got hurt and they were down there, that's fucking freaky. Because why would you go there of all places? I don't know. But I have another weird story about that same place. And I went there with, it was me, Jake, and two girls that shall not be named. We went there, and the only thing that was freaky about this part is we heard people in there at some point, but it didn't sound like a group of people or anything. And this was like in the upper areas, like this is actually in the VA. But at the one section of the thing, we started seeing like really weird like shit written on the walls, like some shit you would see in a zombie map, like just some really weird like writing on the walls and like devilish shit.
Readable?
Huh? Kind of, but it was just like devilish shit. Like I don't know how else you would describe it. It just looked like somebody was fucking around. But we just found like a Ouija board in the middle of in the room. And again, like that story is not that deep, but it was pretty freaky at the time.
Remember the Ouija board story we have up in Whitehaven?
Oh my God, yeah. Was that a Ouija
Jackson,
board?
all right, come on, you're gonna lose your ticket here.
Wait, Whitehaven?
It wasn't a Ouija board. He's talking about light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Oh,
Me and JJ
yes.
and JJ played a Ouija board in the one cemetery.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board at Whitehaven.
Yeah, that was freaky.
That was crazy.
Super freaky.
I don't even know if you should tell that story.
Yeah, why? The fucking bad voodoo gonna come back out?
I don't know, brother.
Bro, there was just another one that I was thinking of that
Ryan, what's your
I completely lost
abandoned
it.
building story?
I'm sorry, I was kind of like thinking about what the thing.
Well, Whitehaven, what happened was we were playing that game, and I remember we were doing it, and we did it to Kim.
Yeah.
And like, bro, the ritual is the scariest part. Because you have to say like,
and you're like chanting it. You really weren't there in Whitehaven?
No. I wasn't there for that because you told me about it, and then we redid it to KB right in front of Kistler.
and that was weird too, wasn't it?
That was weird too. Yeah.
That was
That
weird
that
too,
one
wasn't it?
was freaky. But I feel like we need like fucking Mark Rober to make a video or some shit. I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
There has to
Neil
be
deGrasse Tyson
yeah, there has to be some like
But this is why it was scary though.
yeah, no, the Whitehaven
because
one was actually
she might have been
freaky.
just acting silly.
Yeah.
But bro, we did it to Kim, and the ritual was scary as shit, right? And Kev, I hope you can remember some of this story, but
I do. I remember the whole thing pretty much.
picked her up and like she was just like super super light.
Yeah.
And then all of us were like, "What the?" And we dropped her. We just like let go and dropped her.
That one made a bit more sense because I think we were with a couple more people.
There was a lot of people.
When we did it with KB, it was virtually just us three, and I think maybe Liv, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that time the KB one was a lot freakier because of the actual game. But what happened after the thing with Kim?
But what happened was, so after we did it, we were like talking about it and shit, and Kim was just sitting on the couch, and like at a certain point, she just froze, and the dog was like, well, Kim was just sitting there like this, and the dog was just staring at her and going, like
Yeah.
barking at
Oh,
Kim.
fuck.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh no!" I think everybody started running
Yeah.
around and shit. And like Kim like came to or something. It was just
Yeah.
wild, bro. It was crazy.
I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but what I do remember happening is I thought like my recollection of the story was like we were playing, we were doing the game like the Ladies of Feather, and like right after we lifted her, or right as we were lifting her, the dog started like really barking at the door or some shit like that, but there was nobody there. But it was like that's how I remembered it. It was like right as we lifted her, and then all the dogs started barking. But it was fucking.
See,
really
that's funny
freaky.
because like just like you said before, it's like a game of telephone. Like,
Yeah.
You guys remember something very very similar? Like there probably definitely was a dog barking.
Oh no, the dog was 100% barking.
But you just
at
don't know
her though. for
at
sure.
what point. That's funny.
Yeah, no,
I think-
was.
I think.
I wish I could have remembered that other story I was just thinking of because I had another
one?
really weird story. I don't know. It was
lost it?
right before you brought that up, and I lost it, and I completely forget what it was.
What were you thinking about like the Ouija board? Oh wait, were you there for the Ouija board?
Me, you, and JJ did the Ouija board in the cemetery, and
What
it didn't do
happened?
nothing.
Nothing happened?
Nah, bro. Yo,
not for
what's
us.
bro? We got candles, all that. That shit was fun.
Yeah.
Yo, didn't we just leave the Ouija board on the side of the street because no one wanted to take it
Yeah.
home? Because actually, I think we were
Oh,
all just
yeah.
like,
I
no,
wasn't
actually,
taking that shit.
it wasn't even really about we didn't want to take it home. We were all just like, bro, my mom will not allow that shit in my
Yeah,
house. 'Cause,
that's
like,
exactly what it
It's all
was.
true. Like my mom would not let that shit in the house.
A
His mom
Ouija
wouldn't.
board.
But,
Yeah, that shit was
yeah.
not flying. Yeah, no, I mean, bro, those are the fun times in life, though. Like,
think
when
I did
shit
a
was
Ouija
just
board once or
spooky.
twice.
You did. Which one? We did it at Liv's dad's house. Yeah.
Oh,
That's how you got the fucking marks on your back or some shit.
That was types freaky. I remember
That
that.
happened. Yo, I gotta find.
I remember being
my
with
chest.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it's funny.
I thought it was your back, too.
Because every time, I think he had on both, but every time we talk about this, Darren's like, huh, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I forgot that.
See,
happened.
he got possessed for a night and
No,
just forgets it.
I'm pretty sure I slept over. Like,
Yeah, bro. I think you slept in my house.
and he woke up, he's like, bro, did you scratch me? I'm like, what?
Bro, I don't think I have the picture anymore. I
No,
think
you
it's
know what it
definitely gone.
was?
No, I think you did, because I think you sent, like, we had this conversation a few months ago, and you showed it to me.
Nah, yeah.
I don't know, man. Look at this. I have bro. I gotta just pull. Let's just put this video here, like, just because. I guess this has no relevance at all, bro. My OtterBox case is shot, bro.
Yeah, your entire phone's probably shot. When was the last time you took that fucking thing off?
Oh my, yeah, bro, that shit is probably filthy.
Yeah, I take my phone out of my case and clean
Actually,
it all the
speaking
time.
of, I didn't clean my shit too. My
Wait,
shit's
am I
a little
connected
dusty on top.
to the thing right now?
Caster? You might be.
I think I was, but I disconnected. So here's this video.
Am I playing this? You gotta smack the shit out of him, aren't you? Is that Brian?
That's Xavier.
Definitely not
Run
me.
it back.
Oh
I
my
smacked the
god.
dog doggy out of his ass.
The
boy.
dog doggy.
Nah, the
And then I
most,
let my finger.
yeah, so the
slide
most
on
vile
it.
part, you said,
Oh my god.
He stays asleep too.
That's
I don't get
hilarious.
it.
No, what I was
That's
thinking of, you remember the one
violence.
time when you were staying up in Whitehaven and fucking, I think somebody did it to you?
Yeah,
or
we sprinkled cheese all over Brian's ass. I think.
Tight when I woke up, bro.
I think somebody threw a piece of like packet cheese on
Yeah, bro,
Brian's
I
head or
was
something.
drunk. I woke up because, like, bro, I was drunk as fuck. Like, I was so tight.
Little jet laying.
Oh, let's go. So I was out there probably hitting tanks too. Bing! You gotta send me
Yeah,
that.
you were hitting no donkey.
Bro, I was
swamps,
hitting
boy.
holla-dongs, buddy.
Look at me. That's me. I used to think I was Tony Hawk back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Look at you, badass.
Yeah.
It's a bad motherfucker right there.
Yo, I don't think I have that picture, bro.
Damn.
I
Yeah, it'd probably
guarantee
take
you
you
it's
too long
gone.
to find it.
Guarantee it's gone. No, but this is that time in history, though.
Yeah.
You know,
This is that time, or that was that time in history. At the time, it
Reese
was.
took this picture, and that's Brian's mom posted it on Facebook.
Yo, what is good with that? Like just that style of photo.
Oh.
Okay.
That wasn't me. That was Reese.
Oh man, bro, this shit that'll just pop up in the camera.
Oh yeah,
like,
it should get dangerous out here, bro.
Oh man, I think we're almost like lucky that. Check me out. Check me out. I think we're almost all lucky that like we only individually have access to our phones and everybody doesn't
Probably for
have
the better
access
of
to our
society.
phones. That's another one. Like fuck,
Bro.
like what you did when you were a kid. Like if people had access to your phones, the picture would be a different. You'd paint the whole picture differently.
Here, this is a picture from that place we went to where that drug operation was allegedly.
shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Check that out. Wow.
Do you think people do that like in abandoned buildings to like actually like they mean it, or do you think like there's a level of psychology like, oh, if I put this here, like kids will be scared to come in here, so I could like live here like without anyone coming in?
No, because I would imagine like as a kid, maybe this is just me, but if you see some shit like that, that means let's go.
Kevin, you saw like a little thing of red liquid and you sprinted.
Yeah, well, that could have actually been somebody dying, not just spray paint on a wall that says 666.
Brian, skipping
You
school.
got
one
turn
day.
it sideways.
Flip her back, buddy. Look at you, cool kids.
That's
Darren had the fucking shell tops on the white tee like he was fucking Rilo Rodriguez.
Yo, bro, I'm tight. Bro, look at this.
Oh, wah, 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 wah. Brian, can we put those on the pod?
no.
That was fucked up.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is going to be so bad.
It's crazy because, bro,
they can't see none of this shit.
these are the pictures of those times. Remember,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that
you know
quality.
where we
Right?
were going that day?
That was New. No, it's not New York. Because Kevin didn't come to that.
No,
Where's
no,
it?
there was oddly for some reason though. The only thing I remember from that picture is we all had watches on for some reason.
Was that fucking Centralia?
No. I don't think so. I think
That was an interesting story.
I think this was in my dad's car. I think we were going somewhere with my dad for some reason. I feel like we were near General Hospital.
Do y'all remember what I mean though? Like why I said that? I feel like we all like either one of us had like a couple watches or something was going on, but we all decided to like wear watches that day for some reason.
I remember, bro, I'm so mad I can't find that picture, bro.
That's the shit that be getting me tight about my memory sometimes is I'll remember like the most obscure dumb shit about certain events in my history, but not like the actual meat and potatoes of why
Remember this
the
night?
memory was important. Yes, I do actually remember that one. Those nights at Liv's house are crazy. Look for that. Keep this entertaining.
You ever see like you open a picture and like you're wearing a pair of shoes or a shirt that you don't know what happened to?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, I miss those shoes, bro. God damn.
Yeah. You want to know some kind of wild I learned like literally maybe a week ago?
What's that?
You know how you were talking about the VA?
Yes.
Yeah. You know who kind of like put people on the map about that? I actually don't know his name. I don't remember what Anthony said, but it's actually one of Anthony's friends. Anthony's friend lives right next to it, and he used to go there all the time. That's kind of like how that like got out.
So they all say we put people onto the fucking.
I know.
To the,
Yes,
to the synagogue.
Bro, and
Or what's it technically called?
the Iron Temple.
The Iron Temple. Yeah, we
What
put
is-
people onto that. Look at this, bro.
Yeah,
Remember
no.
that night? Oh, I gotta show Kevin this, bro. We gotta pull this up.
That's a memory and a half.
We gotta pull this up on the
You gotta turn
pod.
this out, or you gotta turn your
Let me lock my shit.
yeah. Because bro, that night was so heat. Actually, I feel bad. Jake was there too.
Jake took it.
Yeah,
I
no,
think Jake took that picture.
that was great. That was during my
bro.
that was during my what is it called? Subconscious phase where I would like cover my face with like with my hands all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I used to do that shit all the time. There's like another like photo that I remember. Yo, speak of the devil, I just brought you up. I literally just brought you up. Hop on real quick.
Pull up a chair, son.
Come here. We got a
We're
guest
getting
star.
real nostalgic right now, bro.
Yeah, we are. Anthony, which one of your friends put everyone onto like to the VA hospital? Like the abandoned building?
I can't have that out there right at this
Oh
time.
my God.
Yo, you do know that we put everybody on the Iron Temple, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
The hospital
Yo,
you're
I
talking
mean,
about?
I don't.
We gotta flag.
I
that.
do remember
We
that
gotta flag
too.
that.
I will never take like explicit credit for it, but I definitely claim to be a part
Easy
of that
money
as well.
sniper, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I know like it was either y'all two or you and Reese that ran into it initially, but I remember that like very night we went back.
Yeah. No,
So-
that was
Was it you and Reese that found it initially?
No, it was. I think my dad told me and Brian about it, and then Brian and I went, and we just got like right inside. And
Then,
we were
Really?
like, whoa.
we went right inside. We hopped in and it was pitch black.
Speaking
and we
of
thought
that,
we heard
though.
something. We
Oh,
hopped out.
so maybe
then
I'm just mistaking Reese.
Speaking
for
of
you.
that,
no.
though.
Then we went with Reese, and then.
Well, no, because I know, like, when I was
here's
there
me and
with
Brian
y'all,
in there.
y'all two and Reese, that I thought that was all of our first times actually going inside.
Yo.
Remember that?
Wait, bro. Wait. Do you have like the picture or like maybe even the video of us on the piano? Cause bro, that
I
was
think
fire.
I might have videos of us playing
yes.
the piano still.
Yo, can you send that to me?
That's awesome.
Yo, how cool would it be if we linked up with that one YouTuber and did like one of those abandoned trips? with
Yeah,
him?
that'd be awesome.
I would
Bro,
definitely
my
do
one guy, Ali Law, I always be hitting him up.
Nah, it's a local guy who does that.
Really?
Really?
What's his name?
Come on, these are people you gotta put
No,
us on.
this is
to.
the night.
That'd be awesome.
Remember this? Remember that night? That's the night.
Yeah, that was
That's
the very
when we
night I was
first
talking about.
went and
Oh,
explored.
Yeah.
he went with Reese.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I thought, yo,
Bro, we had
I
tasers,
knew that was all of
knives,
our first times
headlamps.
going in there. Yeah.
Yo, my parents supplied, bro. I had a baseball bat flashlight. I had a taser flashlight.
Look, I
and then
had the red
I
light.
had pocket knives for
And
everybody.
I remember that red or that black Under Armour hoodie I was wearing was not mine. It was one of y'all's because I was wearing
this
like
was
a
afterwards.
pink hoodie or some shit.
Yeah,
We were
I'll be
doing
honest, bro.
pull-ups on the,
I'm pretty sure I supplied all the headlamps too. I'm pretty sure I came like my parents.
I know
supplied
I
me
ain't
that.
own a fucking headlamp.
Yeah, bro. My parents literally they were like, "Oh, you want to do some bad shit and it's not drugs or killing someone? Take it."
Here's Reese and Brian boxing.
Oh, I think he fucked me up.
Yo, them. Look at him now. Is Reese still boxing?
I don't know. He's not training out in Florida, I don't think.
Yeah.
Somebody send me that so I can make an edit with Brian.
Don't you dare.
I want with a Darrian. Want to beat his ass. Reese beat his ass. Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a video out there. I have a video of me kneeing Brian in his face.
And I need that.
Whoa.
You actually got that, Kevin?
Yeah, chipped his tooth. He was like, "Oh," after UFC.
I don't have that video.
That one was recent. I think I have that one.
Anthony, I will destroy you. I know where you sleep. And your lock is broken.
Oh,
That's true. Here, look at.
It's
I know
crazy.
where Brian sleeps.
You guys all know where each other sleeps, you
crazy.
cocksuckers.
I don't know why I was violated that day. Dang, bro, this is crazy. So we were just talking about this one memory. We were doing a Ouija board, right? And I think the night just ended up finishing off. I don't think anything happened on the Ouija board, right? Did it?
No, it did. Granted, I don't know if anything.
We might have been
actually
dicky.
happened. But
I remember.
we apparently
What
talked
happened?
to. Apparently, we talked to the bad one. Like the bad. It's like.
It's like Zozo or some shit. Right?
Zozo, yeah. Apparently, we
I
talked
wasn't.
to
I
Zozo.
wasn't there for that story.
No.
I remember the story I was talking about before. Remember
Apparently, we talked to Zozo, but whoever.
So after we did this Ouija board thing, I think we just went home, chilled, and then Brian and I had a sleepover. And I woke up and I had scratches all over my chest.
Really?
And they were like deep scratches. I swear, bro. Ask them.
No, he
Ask
really
them. I
did
swear to
because
God.
he had a picture of
Where
it.
did you do the Ouija board?
We did it at Liv's house.
Yeah.
House was on it.
I don't know, bro.
She still live there.
Her
I
dad
think her
does.
dad
does.
does. Yeah.
It's right down the damn street. Bro, I got to find this picture, bro.
The Ouija board.
Bro, that story though, the one that I was about to say, I might have to call JJ on the roadcaster if I
Call
say
him.
this story
Call
because
him.
he probably will remember the story better than me. Hold on, let me call him quick. He's
Bro,
not gonna be on
man,
the
you missed
roadcaster
it, bro.
yet.
We were
but-
just talking about all the Young Bull stories of when we got into scary stuff. Good times, man. Those might be my favorite times of life.
Has to be.
Are you on the roadcaster?
No, not yet. I'm just gonna make sure it's cool with him first. Yo, Jesus Christ, brother! Look at that beard on you. Look at his beard.
Yo, that shit grew in quick, bro.
All right, no, bro. I had a question because we're on the pod quick, and I didn't want to just put you on blast before I called you. Are you cool if I connect you to the roadcaster so you could talk on the pod for a second? So, do you remember the story? Because I don't remember all the crazy details, but do you remember the night where it was me, you, and Sarah, and we were playing that Randonautica game? You remember that game?
Oh, I remember.
And we drove up to like that really weird spot in the mountains where we kept like driving down the road and we were seeing like hella like devil signs by a cemetery and it looked like something straight out of a horror movie. Bro. All right. Well, I was calling you because I figured you would remember the details better than me, but because we're just on the pod right now bullshit and we're talking about like crazy like story. The other one we were talking about too is, do you remember from that night where we were at your house in Whitehaven and we were playing light as a feather, stiff as a board with Kim, and then the dog started going crazy?
Oh, bro, I got the pictures.
That story was nutty. Yeah, no, we already talked about that one. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you got to
bro.
send those to me. So
I knew you still had it.
Bang, that's Darian's chest. Crazy. But no, I was calling you about that first one because I don't really remember how it went, but I just remember the scenario was so wild. Because I remember in that game you had to think, and it was like we all had to think of like something that like we either wanted to like find out, or like basically the idea was you were just supposed to think of like.
I know it was crazy because like we were in the middle of nowhere with like the Jesus shit.
Yeah.
Yo, look at Ant. These are the scratches I got.
Yeah, but I remember it was like I thought of something like I wanted to figure something out, and then like one of y'all were like you thought it was like gonna be something religious, and then we got there and then we saw all of that crazy religious shit outside of that cemetery, and there was like signs that had like flames on them, not like real fire, but it was like signs with flames on them. I just remember it being so crazy.
All right, bro. Have fun on that.
All right, dog.
What is it
Peace.
called?
I can't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't believe it.
That's a true story.
No, yeah, that was a true story.
That's for a fact true because I slept over that night and I wake up and he goes, Brian, did you scratch me? And I go, what? And that was literally
We
the
slept in the same bed. Brian slept in the same bed that night.
How long ago was this?
Bro, I don't know. Probably. I might have been 16, 17.
Yeah, around
How
there.
many years?
Like 7?
No.
So,
Right?
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 6 years. Fuck.
so was it enough time passed for you to admit you just scratched yourself
Nah.
to creep everybody out?
There's no way, bro. I wouldn't even do that now. To scratch myself? That's crazy.
And honestly, it wouldn't make no.
Hell to the no. Nope.
Yo, also, me and you have a pretty cool like random Nautica story. I don't know if you remember it.
We have a couple pretty crazy random Nautica stories. No,
is that still a thing?
I think it was. I deleted it off my phone recently. But bro, when I say like I didn't do it justice on that phone call because he didn't even really remember it that much, that scenario was fucking insane. You know how like that game? Do you remember like that part where you had to like think, like you had to like conjure an idea in your head for a couple seconds? That part was very crucial to this whole story because I said. And I would always say something around along the same lines, but I wanted to like see something pretty freaky. Like I wanted to like I wanted to see something freaky. I think JJ was like he wanted to like see a new area or something. It was one of the two of them that said it. And then Sarah said she wanted to see something like religious. I don't know why she said the word religious, but I remember that. And we were driving down this at first we went to this one spot that was taking us really deep up this windy, unpaved, crazy hill road, and we were driving JJ's Honda Civic. So at some point we got to like this one part of the field on top of this mountain, and we were like, fuck no, we're not going any further because we were either just gonna end up getting stuck or getting lost. So we ended up just doing a new one, and then that's when we said all of those things. It took us to this place. I still remember looking at the GPS on my phone, like just where we were. It was such a weird area, but I remember we passed this sign. It was like the sign that says something along the lines of like hell is coming. So like the first thing that went off in my mind is like, yo, she said something about religion. So why is that popping up? And it was just a random sign. God bless. It was a random sign like in like a tree line. It was like a bunch of grass and trees. And then there was that sign with those words. It was like hell is real or hell is something. It said hell is something with fire on it. Like somebody wrote like colored in fire on it. And then we continue further up the road. There was like at the end of the road. So we saw this first before the sign. There was like a church all the way down, but it was like it was just like a weird church in the middle of nowhere. And then we drove up the road past this cemetery. And this is all I remember from the cemetery. There was like a short brick wall and then like a brick arch that like led into the cemetery and then continued the brick wall. You know, like think of like a protest, like just a bunch of signs. It was like a bunch of signs on the wall and a bunch of signs going up the arc, just all about like Satan and hell, bro. It was so freaky. But outside of a cemetery at night playing this Randonautica game. And like way before we got there, her bringing up this religious thing. She wanted to see something religious. And then we saw all of that. So I thought it was like really freaky at the time.
That's pretty freaky. What is it called? Me and Darius.
The Randonautica story I can think of is when we went in the woods that one time.
No, I remember that, but like
that was stupid.
I remember
that
that too.
That was
but
tight.
no,
We did that.
it was like ours wasn't like scary. It just was like really cool, like how it worked out. Me and Darren were like doing it, and we were like walking around the square, and I think we might even went to like Crown Fried Chicken or some shit. I don't fucking remember. I just remember I think we were doing it like chilling at my house maybe, which is weird, but like I think that's where we were, and we started like just walking around trying to do it, and I think it like failed a few times. Or the one time it was trying to take us like into like to the precinct building like down there, and it was like, well, obviously can't go through there.
Turn yourself in. That's what it was trying to tell you.
And then we ended up we ended up saying. I think Darian wanted to see, I think he said like the word like beautiful or something like that. Cause we tried like 100 times. We were like, let's just say some random shit. And I said something that's memorable. And what is it called? And right after that, like it took us to, actually it was like literally right to on a certain part of the square.
I remember this story.
Yeah. So we had to just go to a very certain part in the square, and it was like right around the edges. So we go over there, we sit down, and we're just like, all right, so what the fuck is this? And then we look up, and these homeless guys are starting to talk shit.
Yeah.
Like they're like, you just hear a homeless guy start screaming and it's like, it was pretty late. I mean, it was like 12 a.m. probably. And these just like a group of homeless guys just start talking shit, screaming, yelling at each other. I don't remember what it was about, but they start fighting. And then I just remember like, yeah,
What?
yes,
I don't remember this at all.
I remember this story.
I know for a fact, cause I just remember like, it was memorable.
You called me like right after it happened because
Yeah.
I wasn't with you guys.
Yeah, and like so these guys start fighting, and they don't get in like a huge like scuffle or anything. They just like throw a few punches. The one guy goes on the ground, and then they start running. They grab their shit and run.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, what the fuck? And I was like, now I guess we just gotta see something beautiful. And Darren goes, bro, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? And we look right next to us, and the garbage can says "Keep Wilkes-Barre Beautiful." And I just thought it was really weird because like we saw something that I thought was memorable and cool, and looked right over, and then saw the word "beautiful," and I was like, that's kind of wild.
Yeah. That game was an interesting
I don't remember that at
phenomenon
all.
that can go like so many different ways. It's either like it's like one of those things where what you say is just so like
You keep it
broad
general,
and very general. So like pretty much almost anything crazy can fit that scenario.
I mean, think about how many times you do it and nothing would happen.
But I remember like, because that story is pretty interesting, but I remember mine too. Like what we said was so specific that like when it happened, and granted you were right, like you try this a bunch of times and it would never be that crazy. But then like one time you try it and it's really crazy. But it was just like what they said and how we said it and what you guys said and then how it ended up panning out that just made it so fucking freaky.
I will say, you can wait.
He's about to dig.
For anyone younger watching this, don't be dumb, but you should try out Randonautica. I think it's fun.
I hope it's still an app. Let me check it out.
Yeah, if it's still around, if it is. But yeah, Randonautica. It's fun.
Remember, what was the one that, this one was really cool too, but they would leave a little box or a note.
Oh, geo hunting.
Geo hunting? Yeah, that was really cool.
Anthony, go ahead.
Do you guys believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Do I believe in ghosts?
No, I'm not going to say yeah,
really.
but
Hold on. For anyone who
for the sake of this story, yes.
believe in ghosts.
Let's get this man a microphone.
I know, come on. What are we
Well,
doing?
no, actually, no. I don't understand this with him because like.
Come on. I just don't know where to put this chair.
You want to just do you want to just have a microphone or you want to come on the
You
camera?
want to roll
It
it?
doesn't matter either way.
Wait, if you want to come,
I'm looking kind. I just came back from the gym. I haven't shaved. I look kind of crazy.
So it's up to you.
If you want to sit right here, this is what we usually do. We usually like have
Move the
these
chair
moved
right
over.
there. Or
I'll
we just
get you
a
a mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Actually, I'll wait.
My guy. We got him.
You got 45 seconds. This can't be how it's done. This is how you guys like.
Well, usually the chair's already over here.
Typically how it's done. All right, so here, Darren, just bump Darren's chair over for now. You can just take it over. And here, okay. You know to plug it in, right? Do you need a headset? Do you want a headset? Yeah. Okay.
Talking it.
He's not gonna be able to hear it though. Oh, you will.
Talk. Nah, I can't hear him.
Oh no, yeah, he's muted from the other pod.
Now talk. Okay.
He said talk. Don't make a fucking noise, bruh.
Yeah.
And move over a little bit while you're at it. You know what I'm not gonna let happen right now? He's not about to come on the podcast and act like he's Batman, bro. Take them damn shades off, too.
Oh
Anyway.
man.
This is Anthony's worst name.
Oh wait, I can't wait for him to try to figure this shit out. Every guest is like, how do you put these on? There you go, you got it. And I did just fact check. Randonautica does still exist. That's what we should do, bro. One of these nights, we should plan a Randonautica, then sleep over, and then watch Mr. B.
Snacks,
That's what I'm saying.
horror movies,
Play Randonautica.
Randonautica, for sure.
Oh wait, I guess I still have it. Maybe I never deleted it.
I was about to say something.
Yeah, that's scary.
Cancel real quick.
All right, but yeah, now that he has a mic, before he asked if we all believe in ghosts, and me and Kevin said yeah, Darian said no. I don't understand how you can have a story where we did a Ouija board and you get a scratch on your chest. You're like, yeah, but
I knew that's where
I'll tell you
that
why.
was
Hold on,
going.
bro. Yeah,
every fucking time. I've had
I'll
this
tell you
conversation
exactly
3 times.
why.
You're about to disprove
lying.
what he said.
I'm lying about what? The ghost?
The
Me believing in
scratches.
ghosts? Okay, go ahead. Try. I put that on my mother's life, bro. I would not scratch myself.
So who scratched you? The ghost that
I
doesn't
have no
exist?
idea.
He thought I wouldn't come on his podcast and call him out.
Tell him.
I really don't.
So the ghost that doesn't exist scratched you.
I think that I don't know what it was. I truly don't. I really don't.
So
I just am saying that those two things together are very creepy.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You say you don't believe in ghosts, right?
I think it's hard for me to believe in ghosts.
Do you believe in
No,
demons?
it's kind of a.
Do I believe in? Oh, so we're gonna start dick eating? Is this
No.
the dick eating
I swear to
podcast
God,
now?
I'm not dig eating right now. I'm
Okay.
being dead ass
Do I
serious.
believe in demons?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think if I had to say I believe in something, I think it's like energies or something, like dark energies or some shit. I don't know.
So
So
theoretically,
think,
there has
like-
to be something
yeah,
out
like-
there, right?
Dark energies.
Yeah. So like, nah, for real. So like, if
He's like Andrew Tate on the
if-
pod.
you know how there's some like very evil people in the world.
yeah.
I think that what that energy is just in their soul. And so like when they die, that energy goes somewhere else.
So
I'm
maybe
saying?
synonymous with ghosts.
I don't know. I don't see like ghosts as a human form just in this weird realm that could walk through walls and
Well,
and-
realistically, you should say a ghost as a non-earthly being, like fucking with things that
like
that they should.
spirits maybe.
Yeah.
I think spirits might be a better word to say.
Oh yeah, we're live. I got her back. Now we're
got
gonna
Randonautica?
we're gonna do a GG Randonautica playthrough one of these nights.
I don't believe in when you die and you sinned or whatever, you don't find your place in heaven. You just get to walk around and in invisible form.
That'd be
and-
kind of awesome,
and haunt
right?
people. Like
Why
I
don't
don't think that when I think of ghosts, that's what I think of. But maybe spirits.
Yeah.
Maybe that works differently. You know what I'm saying? Like some type of energy that exists.
Y'all gonna let him get away with it?
Did y'all ever hear
Hold
like
up,
that?
wait,
that
and
I
then
got
really?
the whole
click
thing
that button
recorded.
real
Y'all
quick.
gonna let him get away with
Hold
it?
on.
Did y'all ever hear that really crazy thing that happens to you when you die, like the weight thing?
That's false.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've heard it be disproven a bunch of
He
times.
just gonna have a high ass chair and start calling people out on shit.
Now hold on.
No way.
I
All right,
gotta
guys.
put my chair
The
up.
entire table about to. Now y'all about to have no leg room just to prove a point. Now I'm joining them too.
Anthony's about to be a fan favorite.
Oh,
on-
no,
on-
I was
on-
already-
Get Anthony on the pod. Nah,
I know.
fuck that dude.
This is actually this is Anthony's first time. How long have you guys both lived here for?
4 months.
4 months. So
And what's been the experience in the bathhouse so far?
Dick eating, dick riding,
Yep.
fucking around.
they've both roughly lived here for 16 podcasts, and he's never made.
Is it
an
4
appearance.
months? You said.
That's what they said.
4.
4 months?
We moved in at the beginning of February, so maybe 5 months,
So since let me see,
It's
what,
July, you know?
what would 16 episodes ago be?
or maybe it's
Oh, it's June. It's
June. All right, yeah, then
So 5 months.
5. Yeah.
Let's see.
What's your experience like in the bathhouse so far?
I mean, I have a blast, which I love it here.
The bad for business house?
I mean, granted, there's nothing inherently wrong with like where I lived before, but like, just so much more freedom and like I could literally do whatever the fuck I want whenever I want. And I mean,
You said what?
I could do whatever I want whenever I want. Anthony,
Like rip ass in the morning, right? Isn't that what happened?
No,
Or
that's
Anthony, it might have been
that-
Anthony. He
I
might have
was
been blaming
literally
it on
about
us.
to say that. Anthony just like he talks to us when we wake up, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Did you fart?"
Yeah.
Because I heard a fart. Like, bro, what? Like,
And when
who does
damn well
that?
he farted.
Is that what I said?
I think he just be wanting to stir y'all up and y'all.
I think
vibe.
so too.
He does. Granted,
They're like chess pieces, and I just play with them
Yeah.
all day.
Oh really, Brian? Maybe we should start talking about Anthony then. Huh?
Oh,
Now hold
About
on.
the shit he be doing.
All right,
here,
cut
right?
the podcast.
Sadly, we don't cut unless
I'm
Brian
just
says
kidding,
dumb
I'm
things on NSFW buds.
Brian,
Wait,
yeah.
did you cut that out?
I didn't cut the Woodlands thing out, but I cut one of the things out.
Brian started
I
going
cut like two
crazy.
things out that he said.
Going
Wait, I
crazy
thought
on
you said that
somebody's
was-
name on the podcast.
I was not going crazy. Actually, I was quite kind.
He was
about
like,
it.
"Fuck that bitch," and everything she did.
No,
Nah.
that was
Everything
the
she
that was the
stands for.
drunkest Brian's ever got. Well, I was that
Oh yeah,
sober.
Brian was
Nah, which
hammered,
one-
bro.
I did say so, and then I was like, I literally like caught myself. I was like, nah, realistically, I don't really feel that way. I'm just talking.
I mean,
shit.
that part's really not that bad. I think just Jake didn't want it to become a problem
Yeah,
at the
nah,
time
which
because
is
Jake's
real,
like the mediator.
Yeah, no, that's
But,
fine. I get it. I was just like, I talked
Hold
shit on
on,
someone who was talking shit on me, and then I was like, you know what? I lied. I don't care. Like, it's whatever. All love.
I'll speak up for the GG pod though. So like that person knows that I like them. You know that I like you. So I'll be the mediator. You guys can't like each other. It's fine. This is just a plate. This is the vessel for human discourse. We should have conversations
vessel
about
man.
these. We need the vessel man. But where are we going with this?
So, Anthony, what's your thought on the flat Earth theory?
Yeah. By the
I
way,
can't get
Anthony's a
into that.
crazy conspiracy theorist. So let's see what
For
you
real?
got. Yeah.
That's what we're doing. I'm not. They're trying to dick eat, but
Wow,
They're trying to
that's
paint
crazy.
pictures now.
He won't even stand on his own 2 feet.
no, that's
bro.
crazy. You put him in front of a camera, he
I
starts.
know, he started acting
capping.
different. Look at him getting all red on the GG pod. Maybe he never coming back on this shit.
never
I
coming
guarantee it. This is the initiation process, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to go through one or two of these first.
Yo, that's crazy.
Fuck yeah. This
Yeah.
whole
Yo, do you
scenario
believe
has
in
been
ghosts?
crazy.
no.
You don't believe in ghosts at all? So how about all of
No.
your stories though? Going to the house of
Oh, God.
Alexandria and all that other stuff.
The House of Alexandria,
Yeah.
the House of Deborah. I can't.
I
have
still
that.
never
You gotta
been
cut
there.
that out.
I still never been there. Has
house
have
of- You heard of it? You heard
yeah,
of it?
I've heard of it a bunch of times. I was asked to go there a bunch of times
From
when I was
who?
younger.
'Cause
Huh?
I never heard of it before.
Typically, like it was a bunch of Hanover kids I knew that all knew about it. But I know Jake went there. I'm pretty sure Jake went there, or at least I had talks of going there with Jake once, and I think JJ went.
House of Deborah.
Yeah,
Nah, see, I'm glad that you said other people call it that. 'cause
it's like
this
off in the
motherfucker-
forest, right? It's like off in the you had to go down a weird path to find it. Yeah, I never
How do you
went.
know
but
that?
I've heard about it a bunch.
Well, he just said he had 2 friends that went. Nah, but I'm glad that you said other people call it like that name because every time he tells me about something, it's the most dramatic name I've ever heard. He always like he goes, I know a spot, and it'll take me to the fucking Bear Creek village of homicidal maniacs,
Yeah.
and I'll go, oh,
What?
It's called. I'll go. It's called that. He goes, you have to know about it.
What
Every single time.
happened?
That's
What
true.
takes place at the House of Deborah though?
I don't know. What
You
was the
asking me?
story?
What do you got
Well,
about
did you?
it?
I never went.
Yeah, I've never been there either. But
He definitely's been there.
well, what have you heard about it?
I've just heard that it's a abandoned house in the middle of the forest.
Well, what's the story? Isn't there a backstory?
Well, isn't it called the House of Deborah because some person named Deborah lived there and died?
Died there. But there has to be a cooler story, though, right?
Well, not.
You guys know what's
not-
there?
not
What's
necessarily.
what's at the house when you get there?
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
It's just a house.
That's
Bro,
what I.
what?
No, I'm
Why?
asking.
Why?
I'm asking
Why?
you guys.
I've never been there.
Yeah, I never.
No,
You
you've
have
never
been
heard
there.
anything else about it?
I'm sure I might have, but I don't remember. No.
Should I spoil what's there, or
Yeah.
should I leave it
I'll-
on like
I'll-
a cliffhanger?
I'll-
I feel like
You
I
should
should
say
leave
it.
it on a cliffhanger.
I'll probably never end up going there. So go ahead.
I
You
wanna-
sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bro, I want to go to abandoned building soon, bro.
Let's go to the House of Deborah tonight.
Wait, hold on.
Let's
hold
do
on.
it tonight.
Hold on,
Come on, son.
Let me
You
say
ain't
something.
really like
If-
that.
See,
Come on.
but you're confusing me because if you want to go there tonight, I'm not going to spoil it. But I will say there's like a 10, 15-minute walk through the woods. It is a very creepy house. There's very creepy vibes in those woods.
Is it a whole house?
There's like no one in those woods. Yeah, it's a house. You don't go in the house.
Why? That's what they say.
You just don't go in the house.
Oh. What you mean you don't?
We
go
never
in?
questioned it. When you get shown the house, you're like, hey, this is the house of Deborah. It's like a creepy walk. You take your friends, but it's like, by the way, don't go in the house. You don't go in the house.
Oh, so we got to go
Is
inside.
Is that just what
We're
he's setting
going
this
to
up?
the house.
There's probably a crazy
No.
axe murderer that lives in this house. Or some
Realistic-
shit.
You don't go in the house. But there's something that once you get there, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm
Nah,
not
see-
going in that house.
He's probably correct. You probably just can't get in the house.
I
without
think
breaking
Anthony
it down.
knows intuitively that if he was in a horror movie, he would die first. Not for any particular reason.
Canceled.
Not
Oh, my
for-
God.
tell
Please
us
cancel
why,
Not
Derek.
for any particular
Please
reason.
cancel
Why would
Derek.
just giving die first in
Please
the movie? That's
cancel
all
Yeah,
that
Derek.
is.
no, that was crazy, but I agree.
All right, cancel Brian, too. That works for me.
I told you it's on my bucket list to get canceled at least once, so
Yeah, this is
go ahead
one
and
of
make
the
it
more
happen.
cancelable episodes.
I'm clipping this my damn self and putting it on
Yeah,
it.
hour 55 in. So.
But I would go in.
What, the House of Deborah?
Yeah.
I would too.
I'm not a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
nah.
What are you going to do? You're just
what
going
if I went in there on like McGregor vibes, or like what if you
like,
just
fuck these ghosts?
what if you just so happened to have a Viking day and you were to go to the House of Deborah?
Nope.
You wouldn't go in?
No.
I would
You don't
kick
go
the- I would-
watch
I
like
would
the
kick the
Avengers
door
and then
down.
go to the fucking House of Deborah though, like your Iron Man.
Fool, Deborah, she's doing
Like
nothing
walking
in
through
the
that shit.
spirit realm. Absolutely nothing.
The
By the way, boys, I got to leave in like 5-10 minutes. I got jiu-jitsu.
We can wrap it up. Yeah.
For
Yeah,
you.
we
going
been-
too?
we've been
Yeah.
going for like 2.
You
Huh?
going too?
No, I have to go edit this.
Oh, word.
This comes out
Coming?
tomorrow.
That'll be all for the Go Get It Now play.
Yeah.
Well,
You
guys,
try to sound this shit off like it's a news network. That will be all. folks.
Back to you.
wait, we still haven't figured out what the fuck happens in the House of Deborah though. I really want to know.
Yeah.
Well, isn't
Or
this
I'm
a
not
great
actually going
cliffhanger
tonight.
then?
I'm not going
All right.
tonight, so
All right.
no.
Just tell us what it was.
Anyway. Huh? It's just a house. That's it.
Is there
There's
any other way of figuring this out? Because I really want to know.
Like to decode him.
Well, not necessarily.
No.
but
Wait,
can
you
is this
know
a
better.
Google?
Sometimes you
know
can get
better.
like sometimes if you go to the store and
just tell
buy
us off the
dates,
podcast?
you could get
So,
dates.
so at least a cliffhanger.
I
for
told you the truth.
Like the dates. If you just kind of
Dangle it.
want a date
Ah,
to tell me what happened at Deborah's
Yeah.
house. Alright.
Is this also racist? We're not sure.
What?
We'll get back to you.
we'll get back to
And
it.
on that note, maybe we just.
All right, guys. Well,
Peace out.
I'm glad you guys joined us for the end of the world.
Yes, sir.
We're probably gonna get canceled after this one, but I hope you made it all the way. If you did, the world didn't end yet, and you're seeing this, and everything's good.
All right, love you guys. Subscribe.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Peace.